untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Ladies and gentlemen.
All I know is you never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
What is it with you and this obsession with this varsity crap?
People come to us because we don't sell them on anything. They can't refuse because of the implication.
You wonder ever you're a bad man? World needs bad men. We keep the other bad men from the door. Some things are a matter of duty.
The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough to dispute. Mine's about to take advice from a clown who dives headfirst into the shallow end of the booth.
It's Talk Sports with John Reed and Cody McClure.
If it is to be said, so it be. So it is. So it is.
If it's a Tennessee thing,
well, I'm holding on.
Back in the booth, back on the airwaves, coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. John Reed, no Cody McClure, surprise, surprise. But I got my boy Bad News Bubba. He and Bubba get ready to launch the Fan Run Friday Night Scoreboard Show Season 2 tonight right here on Fan Run Radio. Jesse Simonson will join us in hour 2 to talk some SEC. Hopefully the freaks will hang out and interact and help bring some content. So we'll be just fine on this last Friday before the madness starts next week. Our journey to football season will finally be in its final stages next week. We got this last little hump to get over. Bubba, how are you, my friend? Looking good as always.
I'm just looking forward to the weekend, John.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to the point where I'm out here changing in the parking lot before coming in here.
Because it's so hot and sweaty or what?
Just the time loop is just thrown off in my body. My circadian rhythm is out of whack, and I need at least like 4 days in a row to get that ready, but I only get 2, so we got to work with what we got this weekend.
What's the matter? You didn't get enough sleep last night?
I just fall asleep at odd times now.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like, I fell asleep when I got home, and then I woke up at like 3:30 this morning.
Did you stay up, or did you go back to sleep?
Tried to, doing some stuff on the computer. Had technology problems, got a little flustered. And then, saw the time, said, oh, somehow a bus comes to my neighborhood at like 6:35 in the morning.
School bus?
Yep.
Well, somehow. I'd say they got to pick up the kids.
Yeah, but like 6:35, I feel like that's early.
What time does school start here? I'm always kind of thrown off because don't some schools in Knoxville start like 7:15 or something crazy?
I guess like elementary school might start at 7:15 or 7:30. I know like high school start at 8:30 typically unless they're private.
Okay.
But
I'm always fascinated by that because like just all across, like Sam will talk about his Nashville school. William will talk about their Memphis school, and it doesn't like line up. I figured it'd be like a uniform rule across like the state, but I don't know. Like back where I'm from, I can't really remember what time elementary school started. I know the junior high started at 7:45. Class started at 7:45 there. That sucked.
I got to be honest, I hate the term junior high.
I mean,
middle school. Like
yeah,
all these places, they go elementary, they go primary school, and then they'll go, junior high, middle school.
Well, to me, middle school and junior high are different grades, though. Like, what is middle school to you?
So middle school is going to be from 6th to 8th grade.
Okay. See, to me, middle school is 4th to 6th grade.
4th grade?
Yeah, 4th to 6th.
When kids are 9 years old.
Well, I know, but kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I mean, that's the beginning part of school. 4th through 6th, middle school to me. 7th and 8th. It's your junior, like you start becoming a little bit older, a little bit more mature from 7th grade to 6th grade. So then that's junior high as you're starting to get prepped for high school. And at least where I'm from, that's where we started like changing classes, having lockers, stuff like that. So like, I don't know. That's how they did it where I'm from. We had one school from kindergarten to 3rd grade, another school from 4th to 6th, and another 7th through 8th
I forgot there's probably like 40 people in your graduating class where you're from.
No. How many people did you have in your graduating class, Bucko? Because I imagine we had just as many as you did. That could be completely wrong. I have no idea what Karn's enrollment is.
I think we had at least like 200.
Oh, we had more than that. We had like 340. We were 5A. We were big, buddy. Don't come at my school like I'm from some podunk town. The friendly city, Athens, represent. We did all right. We had a decent amount of people. Now, if you're talking about just the middle school class, that wouldn't be 300. That would be about half because there was 2 separate middle schools in Athens. There was 2 separate middle schools that then merged into one junior high when you got to 7th grade.
See, we had the all-encompassing middle school like that split Karns and Hardin Valley because they didn't have their own middle school yet.
Okay.
So it's like all those kids, would go there, and then high school, like the kids would split. But then you also have other middle schools, like Northwest would end up going to Karns, and then like other places like that. Weird zoning rules here.
Okay. Yeah, that's always thrown me off too. I don't really maybe as I'm 35 now, I've gotten a little bit better of an idea, but I've lived here for a long time and I still don't understand the geography of the high schools really. I've got an idea where Karns is now because I just spent a lot of time at the vet there one time. I got an idea how you people are.
People? What do you mean by that?
I got an idea how you people are. There's a reason that when Cody does his impression, there's a reason I don't tell him to be careful or like, hey, come on, be sweet, because I feel like it's pretty accurate, at least from my experience. Of course, I know the Farragut kids. I know the Bearden kids. I figured out West because we used to our radio studio was right there across from West, so our original one. I got an idea where they're at. Pal, sort of, kind of. I figured some things out. Fulton, I know where it is. Catholic, I know where it is. But I still don't really know like who's zoned for where. Like what neighborhoods or you get to go to Pal. Oh, you got to go to Halls. I don't fully get it. How excited are you for the high school football season though? Starts tonight, right? Or I guess it started last night, but big Friday, full Friday this week, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, like since I'm out of high school and I don't really have too much an attachment towards it anymore, so I'm not overly excited. But it is football, and
this is not the sales job I want for this damn show tonight, Bubba. I want you to
I'm not selling the show. I'm selling you my opinion on high school.
I know, but I want you to be champing at the bit, so fired up about high school football, and you're going to talk about it every Friday night, which is a crazy commitment that you boys have made to give every Friday night to high school, to give it to the call-in show. I appreciate it. I think it'll be good, but it's going to be a long day for you, Bubba. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m. That's a long day, brother.
If I make it in time, I mean, the game plan today is to take a nap, and if I wake up, I wake up. If I don't, well, good luck, Vols, Tim. It's interesting because it's like recently Karns and Hardin Valley kind of renewed their rivalry. They're playing each other at the beginning of the season now. So, I mean, I'll halfway pull for it, but also I halfway won't just because of stuff that happens at Karns, I had a friend who used to coach there, and he doesn't anymore, so I'm kind of anti-Beavers, but also not really.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't realize you had broken up with the Beavers.
I mean, they broke up with us.
They do one of you dirty that you all join in. Okay, that's good friends. That's good friends.
But then, other matchups are going to be exciting, like Alcoa, Maryville. An absolute banger that's going to happen. So, the good teams are fun to watch. The mediocre teams, it's football. And then the bad teams, well, John, we don't know. You still keep up with high school football?
No, I don't. I quit it whenever I left high school. And then a handful of years later, one of my good buddies, his little brother was my team's starting high school quarterback. So I paid attention to that, out of because I knew him, I knew the little, he was a little kid to me, but then he grew up and, of course now as a man, but when he was our starting quarterback, I'd keep up with it on weekends just to see how he was doing and how the team was doing. And then otherwise, if I find out or hear we're pretty good, I'll check the scores on Friday night just to see if we won. But that's it. That's the extent of it. Now, I will say that, Catholic this year, Knox Catholic having Tyreek King, that's his name, right? The local stud 4-star wide receiver that Tennessee had to hold off Texas for. I'm interested to see his stat lines each week. People are talking apparently a lot about this quarterback up in Sevier County. I saw they're ranked number 1, right? In local rankings, in terms of best schools in the area. I guess they went 15.
Confirm that.
I was getting a little bit. Well, Jesse Smith, he ranked him at number 1. So I mean, he knows more about it than I do, and most people, it's his lane. Tim was telling me yesterday that they were ranked number 1 in the area, and then they got a quarterback that might be getting D1 offers, power D1 offers. So that to me, I'll keep up with him, or at least somewhat interested in that. It's more about, if we have any talent. When Walter Nolan was at Pal, I somewhat watched their games every now and then just to watch him, see how dominant he would be. But then he
said that he was illegally recruited to Pal for high school. But
yeah. I mean, I didn't really get caught up in the politics of it, Bub. I didn't really care about that. But I care about the college prospects. Yeah, sure.
No, I mean, I think at least for Knoxville, I'm not sure if the talent's getting better, if it's just getting more recognition for a lot more kids to get chances to play, higher up in their football careers, whether it be, FCS, FBS, high Division I schools like an SEC or Big Ten, kind of offer just playing it all, because obviously Carnsboard, Deshaun Bishop, Walter Nolan, a lot of kids from Catholic, Amari Rogers, obviously, Tyreek King, Caden Martin played there for a bit. Oak Ridge has got some guys. So, I mean, more and more talent keeps getting exposed in the local level, which is great. I guess as a result, you kind of want to maybe check their highlights and stats since, maybe since, they're so close to you could check them out on a Friday night, see what they're going to do if, if they have any interest in coming to your school, if your school is actively recruiting them or not. I imagine some more people will pay attention to some Catholic games this year just because of Tyreek King.
Yeah. That to me is exciting, having a big-time prospect, but B, a big-time prospect for Tennessee. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty noteworthy. So that's where my interest is. But enough high school football for now. Tim will come in the third hour, kind of reset that stage. They got a big show tonight and every Friday here on FanRun Radio. If you do like high school football, tune in roughly around 9:30, I believe, is the time that Tim has said he wants to go live up to about 11:30. Make plans to hang out with the boys. It'll be good. It'll be good fun. But the SEC, college football, made a big announcement yesterday. We will dive into that. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is FanRun Radio, Knoxville.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you in ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Watching American Pie 2 a couple nights ago just to see if it held up. Felt a little less, as what the kids would say, problematic than the first one. I don't know if the second one's as good or not, but the soundtrack just took me back 20 years, made me feel young again. Bubba, we are fast forwarding years in the SEC. We are coming to the modern era when it comes to power conferences and trying
change.
Say that again.
Boo to change.
Boo to change. Okay, typically we see that a lot with people, but I didn't see too many people mad about this. Right? This seems universally loved. No, like I know you might just be being facetious, but I never can tell with you, Bubba. You're kind of an enigma. Are you actually booing change here? Because it did feel like pretty much everyone, TV executives trying to line their pockets, the SEC trying to line their pockets, the Big Ten successfully bullying the SEC into non-conference games. But SEC football fans all kind of feeling like winners too, because they get another week of good football versus one of these FCS opponents or low-level FBS opponents that, quite frankly, none of us enjoy watching. This felt universally beloved. Do you disagree, or?
In some ways, but to play devil's advocate, we kind of need these FCS games here to happen at the lower level, but for a couple of things. One, tune up for our guys, right?
Sure.
Let them kind of get in the motions, play some younger guys and all that stuff. But two, it helps keeps those programs alive with the funding that they receive. So, what they have less big games and less games that they're, getting paid to travel to and stuff like that, what's going to happen to those universities? They're going to phase out. They're going to have to drop a level. Are they going to have to drop, from low FBS to FCS to eventually, D3, which is just weird.
Yeah, if you're telling me that you're worried about the lower level of college football, maybe those people are not happy, because this does feel like something that will kind of widen the gulf there, right? Like you're talking about.
It also just seems like it's just putting in motion for just a big old super conference in the future. That's going to be just like 30 teams, and that's it, rotating every so often. But
yeah, I mean, I do feel like that momentum has subsided a little, at least a little. Like 3 years ago, super conference was all that was talked about. 2 years ago in the SEC and Big Ten were like, hey, we're going to do all this together. We're teammates. Like all of that seemed like we were headed for a super conference. I'll say that momentum's at least slowed down a little bit now with the Big 12 and the ACC staying alive, at least for now. If Clemson and Florida State are able to relocate, maybe that's a different discussion about the ACC. But feels like they have at least stayed alive. The rumors of the expanded playoff, where they'd get 5 teams each in that conference, maybe the money there would keep them alive and bring them not necessarily closer to even, but I guess maybe close the gap a little bit, which I guess would be bringing them closer to even. But the small schools you're talking about, Bubba, they are probably the big losers here. Now, whether that leads to what I've been pining for, which is like a spring scrimmage, or maybe even like a mid-August scrimmage now at this point, a preseason game in the NFL. Maybe that could open the door to some other type of relationship. But I'm not really worried about those schools. That might sound harsh. I'm not a fan of any of them. I've always just been a Tennessee fan. I know a lot of you locally, maybe you went to Austin Peay or ETSU or one of those schools, and you really care about that program staying alive. I feel for you. It's just not something that I really care about when I'm talking about college football.
In a very sick and injured way, I hope that ETSU absolutely just brings their A game this year. With their transfer quarterbacks from Iowa and UNC Chapel Hill. And I hope that they just kind of give a little fighting effort,
I hope so. I mean, it'd be nice, but hey, like the gap is widening. We care about the power schools. Even like a team like MTSU, we talked about them having to like get rid of their jerseys to save money to try to compete in NIL. Like it's two different. MTSU. Sorry, did I say ETSU? Yeah. MTSU. We saw them have to go out and basically sell candy bars to fund their university, go out and sell tickets themselves. Like they're already playing two different sports. It's already the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah, but I think that's also the problem too, because it's like if you're going to keep trying to cater to the haves, it's it's like, the whole rich get richer kind of thing, right?
Sure.
You want to keep the upper class where it's, keep going up and up and up, and, death to all those below. I personally enjoy watching a nice, action on a Tuesday night.
Sure.
I'm glad that, teams like Ohio would be able to play, at a big old Clemson, second week of the season to get a little, funding dollars there. But
well, I still think you'll get one of those games.
That's not enough, though. Just that way I can watch presumed Super Conference of Missouri play, Boston College every year. Come on.
I don't think those teams are going away.
No, but I mean, I think we're seeing the complete shift, though, with this leaning towards, all these SEC games and less, which, I mean, as a fan, you want the most competitive for your team, right? You want to watch good games. Blowouts aren't really fun. And if we're being honest, I don't know if they're fun to go to, because you know what's going to happen after the first quarter. Hopefully, your team goes up. Granted, in Tennessee's case, that hasn't always worked a lot of times, but we haven't had to worry about that too much here recently, thankfully.
Well, from the Tennessee perspective, we now know that starting in 2026, Tennessee will play 9 SEC games. We know that they are going to keep one super division, kind of like they're doing now. Like there's no, we're not doing.
I already missed the East and West.
Yeah, we're not doing East versus West, and you can say you missed that, and I don't necessarily disagree. But when you get to the level of how many teams you have, that has to go away. That's a trade-off you have to have. I wonder what percentage of SEC fans enjoy having Texas and Oklahoma in the conference. Do you enjoy seeing them in the conference?
No.
No?
No, I think they're just too far away for me to really care. I'd rather them be back in the Big 12 to try to bolster that up. Heck, I don't even like Missouri in the SEC. But, I mean, they kind of at least make sense since they border, Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, that was the trade-off. You bring those schools in, you lose the East and West. And I think most people probably would rather have the East and West than Texas and Oklahoma, although we'll see after another year. And as some of that Texas hate starts piling up and you start building a couple more rivalries, maybe people embrace them, let them in. But the SEC is going with a 9-game schedule, just one big conference, no divisions. A rule, Bubba, that you have to play one Power 5 opponent in the non-conference. That's always kind of been a rule, but they're saying, hey, we're keeping that. So, like, you're guaranteed at least 10 Power 5 conference games. That, I think, is a win for most fans when it comes to a TV product. Also, the way the schedule will be set up, players, fans will be guaranteed to make it to every SEC school within 4 years. So if you are a player coming to school to play at Tennessee, you will visit every team in the conference. You will visit every stadium if you stay for 4 years, which I think is a win. I saw a stat that says Texas A&M still hasn't hosted Georgia. They've been in the league since 2012. Georgia's never gone to Texas A&M. That's asinine. Like that's crazy.
Do you know off the top of your head how often they've played?
I don't.
Because I can only think it's like single-digit numbers.
I would imagine it's just once. I mean, since they've never gone back, but maybe with the scheduling quirk. I don't know. Maybe there was something that happened that made them set up and go to, like, maybe Texas A&M had to go to Georgia twice. I don't know, but I just saw that stat yesterday that said Georgia's never had to go to Texas A&M. And that's dumb. Like, if you're in the same conference, everyone agrees with that. Everyone knows that that's stupid. It appears, Bubba, they played in 2009 at a neutral site bowl game. And then on November 23rd, 2019, Texas A&M traveled to Georgia. So, yeah, they've shared a conference together for 13 years, and they've played once. So like that's dumb. That the SEC had to fix that, and this new schedule setup will fix that. And I think that's a win for everybody. You're guaranteed to get to go to every spot. I don't think there's anybody really on Tennessee's radar that we haven't like gotten to go to that I want to. Is there anybody that stands out to you, Bubba? Like, I mean, I feel like, we got to check off LSU. Texas would be checked off, in the next 2 years, regardless, because they would have been, you had Oklahoma for 2 years and you're going to swap that out with Texas. Like, you would have gotten there in the next 2 years. You've been to Ole Miss, but that's been a while, I guess, since you've been to Ole Miss, right? Have you been back since like the Butch Jones Hugh Freeze game? Have you been back since then? You haven't, right? I don't feel like you have.
I mean, I know that we've played Ole Miss here.
Here, yeah, but I'm talking about being there, like going there. Like maybe we haven't gone there since like 2014, maybe.
Yeah, and then the last time we went to Auburn was, 2019, 2020 or so, whenever JG was quarterback.
That was Pruitt's first year, right? So that'd been 2018, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, like, you're not getting out there enough, but in this model, you will be guaranteed to go out there once every 4 years, which I think is good. You'll play every team in the conference twice, home and away. That's a win for everybody involved. Like I said, if you're a player committing to a school, you get to experience every stadium. If you're a fan, if you're in college, if you're a freshman, wanting to go to the University of Tennessee or every SEC school, you'll have the option of hitting every stadium. Check it off. You can do it in 4 years. And with that comes 3 yearly rivals. Tennessee will have 3 yearly rivals. Teams that you play, rivalries that are protected. Some schools, hopefully Tennessee, will have it easier than other schools. Looking at you, Auburn. Poor Auburn, who might have the chance of drawing Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. Like if they're looking at their actual 3 biggest rivals, that's probably the answer. The SEC will have to figure out a way to try to make it even, make it fair. I know last go around when this was rumored, Nick Saban, surprise, surprise, was doing a lot of complaining at the idea of tier 1 versus tier 2 versus tier 3. Or maybe it's just tier 1 versus tier 2 because Tennessee was clearly surging up where they'd be really a tier 1 type of program. But because of their recent history, they were still tier 2. So Alabama was going to be, tasked with playing Tennessee and getting credit for that being an easy matchup, but it was going to be obviously a tougher matchup than that was representing. The SEC will have to try to balance that, I would say. Even though optically, like I told you, there's so many other teams in the conference that everyone's going to play each other within 4 years. Like it'll all be even, somewhat. Like if you have an easy yearly rivalry, like if Tennessee gets what everybody hopes and everybody wants, which is Alabama, your in-state rival Vanderbilt, and like letting Kentucky have their biggest football rival, which is us. I think all Tennessee fans would be pretty happy with that. Hey, Nick Saban's gone. Alabama, beatable. Hey, Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt. Kentucky is Kentucky. But like that being your yearly 3 rivals, people are saying, well, hey, the other 6 opponents, that means it's more likely that they'll be tough. It'll all even out.
So with that situation, though, where the other team would have to play, another G5, group of 5 opponent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, which I guess it checks out. Like for Kentucky, how they always play Louisville.
I'd imagine they protect that rivalry and keep that as their 1 yearly Power 5 opponents, if I'm guessing.
Isn't that kind of like snaky, though? That the only toughest team, like they're
is it snaky?
Opponent
I don't know. Louisville's a pretty good team, though, aren't they?
Can be.
They have been. They were last year, and they're supposed to be pretty good again this year. Like, I got no issue with Kentucky having that as their yearly non-conference opponent. I don't think the SEC is going to specify that you have to do somebody new.
We should make ours BYU.
Every year, just play BYU?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't want to do that. It's a long trip every other year to have to make. I'd like to do it once. Like I wish we'd have done that, a handful of years ago when we were supposed to. That would have been cool. But no, I don't want to go to BYU every year. All right, fire up some comments. Hey, I'll actually open up the phone lines if you want to call and hang out with me and Bubba. 865-966-3435. Your 3 opponents you want to play. Post in the chat. Shout out to the freaks. Let us know. Is it as simple as, hey, I want the easiest thing for Tennessee? And also I think is the most logical thing for Tennessee, which is Alabama, Vandy, and Kentucky. Do you care about the rivalry against Florida or Georgia? Will the SEC care about those and try to keep at least maybe Tennessee, Florida on the list? We'll look at some other schools' rivals as well. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
You're listening to FanRun Radio, the sports humans.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Got you, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Dental health is so important. It's one of those things that if you don't stay on top of it, it can really come back to haunt you, both financially and, of course, in terms of your physical health. If it's been a while since you've been to the dentist or you've got a dental issue that needs attention, do what I do. Go to Malone and Costa Dentistry at Knoxville Smiles. You can schedule your appointment online right now at knoxvillesmiles.com or just give them a call at 865-539-1776 and tell them FanRun Radio sent you.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
I do think logically, historically, regionally, the no doubt slam dunk home run threesome, your trio of rivals, Alabama, third Saturday in October, one of, if not the most historic SEC rivalry. It's got its juice back. I think both fan bases would be pretty happy keeping it. Alabama doesn't feel like the boogeyman anymore, so Tennessee fans shouldn't be running away from them. Nick Saban is gone. You've already seen that start to even out. Keep in mind, Tennessee 2-1. 2-1 against the Tide over the last 3 years. No-brainer. Tennessee is comfortably Alabama's at least top 2 rivals. Because I think like what you're going to see and what you should see is that like number 1 should be like in-state, like protect the in-state rivalry. Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Like you could put all 3 of those in there. They are in
LSU, Tulane.
No Tulane. Tulane's gone. Maybe if Clemson ever joins the SEC, them in South Carolina will be protected. But like in-state rivalries are going to take a precedent, as they should. All 3 of those, you should lock them in. The Iron Bowl, Tennessee Vandy, the Egg Bowl. So like Alabama and Tennessee would be, the at least the second biggest rivalry for Alabama. So I think that makes sense to lock in for Tennessee, because that's the thing. When you're doing this exercise, you do have to keep in mind, Bubba, where you rank on the other school's list. Like sometimes you matter a lot more to the other school than they matter to you, or sometimes you don't matter at all to them. That's why I think Kentucky as our third rival, it makes geographical sense. It's 2 hours up the interstate. The schools don't like each other, mostly from basketball. The fan bases don't like each other, mostly from basketball, and Kentucky football being absolutely irrelevant. Complete little brother syndrome. But like when you look at Kentucky's biggest football rivalries, we're number 1. Right? So like Kentucky you kind of almost have to say that they're going to get their number 1 rivalry. To me, that's why logically it makes sense for Tennessee to just go ahead and lock in Alabama, Vandy, and Kentucky, because Vandy, in-state, you're their biggest rival. Alabama, historic, traditional rivalry that the SEC cares about. Each school's at least top 2 rivals. And then Kentucky, proximity. There used to be a trophy, RIP, beer barrel. And I guess the Kentucky guys that died and sent the beer barrel away. But like for Kentucky's football program, they ain't really got no other schools like Tennessee. We're their number 1. I don't know, Bubba, where would you rank Kentucky for Tennessee rivalries?
I mean, logistically or passionately?
You can do it however you want. You can do both. Like logistically, I think it's number 2. Like it's
yeah, Vandy at 1.
Well, Kentucky's closer than Vandy from the University of Tennessee. Like you can get to the University of Kentucky quicker than you can get to the University of Vanderbilt. But I mean, in-state gets the nod, so I don't disagree in terms of.
If I don't really consider Vandy a rival, but
right. But I mean, like they are like we're their number 1. Historically, we've played them a hell of a lot of times. Like the in-state stuff, like it matters. It's just good to be on the right side of it, like and be like big brother in both of these situations. But yeah, I mean, Kentucky proximity, it's the closest school to you. It's just 150 miles or 130, like 140 miles from University of Tennessee to University of Kentucky. That's 2 hours, just right up the interstate. So proximity, it checks that box.
Passionately, I don't want it.
Passionately, you don't want it?
Nope. Passionately, I know this is kind of skewing your kind of thing here, but the three rivals that I'd like to have would be Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
You're not skewing my thing, brother. We're having a conversation. I appreciate you having a different opinion. It'd be kind of boring if you just said you agree with me. So I appreciate the sentiment. So you want who?
Florida, Georgia, and Alabama.
Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Okay. All right. Now, I don't think we really fit in the top 3 with Georgia. Now, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I was looking at Georgia's games played. Surprisingly, Kentucky's on that list. It was like the third.
The third most they've played?
I believe so.
I feel like over the last 30 years, like Georgia and South Carolina is a pretty good, like, sneaky rivalry. Auburn and Georgia, that's a big one, proximity-wise. Historically, they play a lot. And then I think, like, in the pecking order, Georgia, Florida probably carries more weight than Georgia, Tennessee. So if I'm picking their 3, that would be their 3.
So I guess the teams that they've played the most that have been Auburn, Florida, and Vanderbilt.
Okay. Auburn and Florida, yeah, put them there. And then, like, I think South Carolina kind of gets to hit that, like, hey, not quite tier 1. So you're not playing three murders rows of a program. Like you're playing at least you get a little bit of a break. But that's been enough of a rivalry over the last 20 years where I think that one would make sense for me. I don't think Tennessee really fits in there. Like, I think Tennessee would be 4th or 5th on the list. Now, you're saying you just want to play them because those are the schools you hate the most or because those are the best games? Like, why do you want them on the schedule?
That's the 3 games that I always get amped up over.
Okay.
Like, extremely amped up, you know? Because it's like I absolutely hate Georgia so much.
Sure.
I hate Florida so much. And then Alabama, absolutely hate them too, from a fan perspective.
Right.
Now, like, also, you know, the games have been somewhat decent, like, you know, with Tennessee and Alabama. Like, that's kind of happened, and now those games are kind of fun to watch now.
Yeah, the Tennessee-Georgia games are the new Tennessee-Alabama games, though. We haven't, you know, Cody keeps beating us over the head with we haven't stayed within 2 touchdowns of them.
I mean, they've brought some moments.
They've had some moments. Sure.
Watching,
I don't know.
Brian Maurer way back when.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really know what those moments are. Than like Brian Maurer hits a deep pass to start the game, and Jalen Wright runs for a touchdown. And, you know, last year was at least somewhat competitive. You know, you had a chance to win that game, of course. You were up double digits twice in the first half. You were only down 7 until the final drive put the nail in your coffin. Like, it's not as lopsided as those Tennessee-Alabama games used to be, but I just don't know if it has given you the moments that you're begging for. Tennessee, Florida, I think is self-explanatory. I mean, that's one of Tennessee's 3 biggest rivals, you know, since the 90s. For sure. Would we be one of Florida's 3 biggest? Like Georgia, LSU, those 2 for sure. I don't know who Florida's number 3 would be. I think it'd be us, but they're not going to get all 3 of them. Because, like I said, you have to somewhat keep in mind where everybody's rivals are, and some of these lower schools ain't got them. Volstorm writes in saying he thinks Kentucky or Auburn should be number 3. I know that Tennessee and Auburn played a whole bunch back in the day. I just don't think that we would be anywhere near Auburn's top 5 at this point. Like, I think Auburn has the Alabama thing, obviously, the Georgia thing, obviously, and just any of those West schools, you know, carry more weight than us at this point with them.
You know, it's weird trying to go on, like, instead of just the most times they've played against an opponent, you know, compared to rivalry sake, because it's like, for Florida, you know, obviously Georgia's at the top, then Auburn, then Kentucky. South Carolina was Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee. So so it's like, would we be one of South Carolina's rotating rivals, or?
See, I don't think we. I think South Carolina and Kentucky would be on that same level. So, like, if we didn't get Kentucky, possibly South Carolina, but like they're kind of in that boat where I don't know who their three rivals would be. They've tried to get the Texas A&M thing going. They tried to get that going. I think Georgia would be one. But who would be number three? I don't know. Maybe Missouri? Some of these are going to be a little tricky. Some of them make sense. You can easily slot them in. Some of them are tricky.
So it's like looking at LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and then Alabama or Florida. Either way there. But
Doc says he put it in Chat GPT to spit out rivals for everybody. It says it did give Tennessee, Kentucky, Vandy, and Alabama. And says of note, Kentucky had Tennessee, Vandy, and South Carolina. Which, if you're a Kentucky fan, you at least got a puncher's chance. You're never going to beat Tennessee, but you could go 2-1 some years against your rivals. You could beat Vandy every year. You could beat South Carolina. You'd have a chance to go 2-1 there.
Do we think that this encourages a conference championship playoff format?
Say that one more time.
Do you think this would encourage a conference playoff? Like the SEC would have its own playoffs for the championship, and then
I think we're trending there regardless. I think we are headed for at least a SEC play-in tournament for the big national playoff. Now, maybe not for the SEC championship, like you're asking. I do still think you have to somewhat protect the regular season, and I have no problem with because the schedule should all be pretty balanced now. Some years it's going to suck if you have 4 home games and 5 road games. You're at a disadvantage compared to other teams, but that hasn't really felt like too big of a deal in the NFL. It evens out year to year. I do still think you'll try to protect number 1 versus number 2 and just let them play for the championship. But I do think, Bubba, we're headed to maybe an 8-team for 4 spots play-in for if the SEC is going to get 6 teams in this conference, in this national tournament. You'd have the 2 in the championship game and the 4 winners of the other one. That could be a possibility. They've already talked about doing 3 through 6 and having that be a thing.
Another thing, do you think this would encourage neutral site games?
Yes, only in the sense that I think more teams are going to have to play other teams, across the country.
Whether that be, with from the 9 SEC or whether it's that, G5 opponent.
What I will say is that in the years that I know that I have 5 SEC road games, I'll be damned if my non-conference opponent's going to be on the road. So maybe it makes it less likely for a neutral site. It's hey, you got to come to Knoxville. You got to come to our place because we already got to go on the road 5 times in the SEC. The best conference in America. We're going on the road 5 times already. We're not doing a 6 road game. So maybe, Bubba, they would either strategically set it up to hey, we'll be at home whenever we only have 4 home games, or they do more neutral site games. But I just have a hard time thinking they'd want to go on the road all those extra times. But the SEC, is kind of leaning right now into the schedule talk. The playoff committee, the playoff is talking about how they're going to prioritize strength of schedule. And then you immediately see the SEC say, okay, give us more money and give us a better strength of schedule. You're going to say you're going to look at schedule more often and give it more weight? Cool. That means a 9-3 team can easily make a 12-team playoff. If you're actually looking at the strength of schedule, cool. 20-team playoff, 25-team playoff, 40-team playoff, wherever the hell we're headed. Hey, look at our strength of schedule. Yeah, we went 7-5, but hey, 5 road games in the SEC. Who knows? Maybe that's where it's all ultimately headed, Bubba. We'll continue the conversation in hour 2. Hour 1's in the books. It's Talk Sports right here on FanRun Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka. Sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, FANRUN Radio.
Kind of sounds like Freaky Friday, the plot you were describing.
You're listening to Talk Sports.
No, that's what? Did you pay attention to Freaky Friday? That was about a mother and daughter switching roles.
Yeah, I thought that's kind of what you were.
No, Lindsay Lohan was in high school, and her mother, Jamie Lee Curtis, they switched spots, and they learned about each other's lives and how tough it is to be a mom and still care for your kids and be able to work and do all this stuff. And Jamie Lee Curtis learns it's tough to be in high school. It's tough, the pressures you feel as a girl. Like, and Jamie Lee Curtis, like, maybe I'm being a little tough on her. It is hard to be good at school and have a social life, and there are cute boys. And, well, I've been hard on this guy on a motorcycle. Now I'm kind of into him, and I'm an older mom, but I'm got a young woman's body. Do I give it a run? But I'm married, but also I'm not. I'm single. I don't want to mess this up for my daughter because she's got a good thing going. And Chad Michael Murray, he was a looker, I got to say, and he had that bike, and he was riding her around, and she felt alive. She felt things inside of her that she hadn't felt for in a long time, but then she realized she has to go back and appreciate her husband at the same time.
Airing every day
from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. The moral of that story is you got to walk in somebody else's shoes. You know, you got to have empathy, and you got to realize and relate to people and be like, hey, is it easy living this life that this person's living? No, we all have our struggles, you know. Like, I don't know what it's like. You know, I used to be hard on you and you'd get out of bed late, but I don't know what it's like to roll 400. 450 pounds out on a 5'8" body, and just how it is to get here into school. Same as you don't know about what it's like being a bald man. You know, we all have our own struggles.
I'm 1340 WKGN.
I'm sorry.
Lil Dicky.
Hour number 2 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Congrats to you. You have made it to the weekends, sort of, kind of. It is Friday. You're close. You're close. Drink some White Claw Hard Seltzer this weekend. Drink it responsibly. Pace yourself. Maybe treat this weekend like a preseason. See if your body's ready for those long Saturdays. Drink it. Maybe you just wake up, you go sit outside. I'm not saying you got to put up your full tailgate setup, your full tailgate tent and everything, but, you know, put up a table, carry a cornhole board, and just sit out there in the heat and see if your body's ready for football season. Drink the light, refreshing White Claw Hard Seltzer as you do your little dress rehearsal to get ready. Hour 2 headlines, Bubba. You got any news for us? What you got on the news for us?
Although it's football season, almost, there's still baseball to be had. And with that becomes some questionable decisions by the executives, as MLB agrees to make ESPN the exclusive home of out-of-market games for all teams and in-market for 5 clubs. So their blackout restrictions just got a whole lot more blackout.
That seems really dumb. You should make the game more accessible, not less accessible.
And it definitely, you know, it's going to cause a lot of issues with their sponsors. I think through T-Mobile, you get MLB, their league pass. And so with that, you know, you're able to watch the games that you can watch. Now, granted, some of them are still blackout, but worry not. I guess it just means you got to become a pirate somehow.
Arr. Hey, matey.
Or you got to, you know your uncle or your cousin who knows a guy to access these games. So, yeah, John, not great. It seems like they're kind of hindering their product now more than ever. If they're going to move to, you know, just based on geographical location and now blacking out games for sure, I mean, what are we doing here?
Making people pay up for extra innings, I guess. Making people pay up for extra innings. Jerry Jones told Michael Irving on his YouTube channel Thursday that he offered Micah Parsons more money than anybody else has ever offered him to play football, which is a funny way to phrase it, seeing how like nobody else can offer him contracts, seeing how he's under contract with you. I offered him more money. Nobody has ever offered him more money than I have to play football, period. Which, again, that's the rules in the NFL. He also said, like, hey, there ain't going to be no more negotiating. We agreed. Like, we agreed to a deal. Me and Micah, we worked out the years. We worked out the millions. That's what the deal's going to be. There's been a lot of growing speculation from Adam Schefter and other insiders that, like, a divorce is imminent between Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. It feels a little noteworthy, but at the same time, it's a ploy for posturing and leverage. But Micah Parsons did scrub Cowboys off of all of his social medias finally.
I got to say, you know, I really don't want Jerry Jones to step away until he absolutely has to, because I enjoy seeing stuff like this.
No, I like having owners be personalities. Like, I think that's a lost art. Like, growing up, Jerry Jones, Mark Cuban, George Steinbrenner, you had some owners that were a part of the story. Now who do you got besides Jerry Jones? Matt Ishbia tried for a little bit. It all blew up in his face. He's disappeared. He's crawled back in a hole with the Phoenix Suns. Do you have anybody? Like Jeannie Buss stepped away. Like she was a little.
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay's gone. Yeah, I mean, he was a personality. Sure, he was one of the final few. Good point by you. None of the other owners are really out there visible, unless I'm drawing a big blank and I got a blind spot somewhere. Like, none of the NBA people stand out to me once Mark Cuban pretty much sold out.
Too many ownership groups now, John.
All the NFL owners are either new, like tech billionaires, or like really old and like not in front of the media anymore. Like none of the Rooneys are ever out in front of the camera. None of the Maras are ever out in front of the camera. Robert Kraft, a bit of a personality, but like I feel like once the team started sucking, he kind of disappeared. Maybe we'll see him reemerge a little bit. But once Tom Brady and Bill Belichick left and he got caught getting special massages from sex trafficked workers, he all of a sudden got camera shy and didn't want to be around anymore. Other than like doing those documentaries on Apple TV where he tries to tell everybody he's the actual genius behind all the Super Bowls. So, yeah, I will miss Jerry Jones whenever he's gone. Kind of like how our college football coaches don't really have any personality anymore. Makes us all want to appreciate, like, Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden and all those guys from the past a little bit more before everyone became robots and machines. I do appreciate Jerry. I'll miss him when he's gone. I'm glad he's here. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan, so, like, I ain't got no skin in the game other than I want to be entertained. As a Cowboys fan, I ain't got too many friends that still like Jerry. A lot of them want Jerry to go away. Now, a lot of them, in my circle were kids in the 90s. When the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, I don't know if they get to fully appreciate them. I'd like to know like how a 60-year-old Cowboys lifer feels, because Jerry Jones set you up for a lot of happiness early in your life, or at least in your formative years, I should say. Do they hate Jerry or do they appreciate him for what he's done for them? I don't know.
They're still talking about Tom Landry.
Jerry Jones said when we wanted to send the details to his agent on the deal that him and Micah Parsons agreed on, the agent told us to, quote, stick it up our ass. Just so you're clear, Jerry Jones said.
It's also fun to kind of watch these new age of agents come into play too. Some guys that you kind of question, how are they agents, or maybe you question their credibility.
Well,
I don't know who his agent is.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say I don't fault that in this scenario. You're not wrong that sometimes, the basketball guys and some of these new age agents, NIL especially in college, like you got agents that aren't necessarily on the up and up. I don't think that's the case with Micah Parsons. The disconnect here, Bubba, is that Jerry Jones, he likes to negotiate himself. And he got Micah Parsons in a room and started talking with Micah Parsons about details. And Micah Parsons was like, okay, Jerry, sounds good. Let me run it by my agent. And the agent's like, whoa, bro. We can get you way more. We can get you way better than this. But Jerry Jones is mad because, hey, Jerry Jones is from Arkansas. He's from the damn country. He's an old man. He's been in Texas where a man's words is bond. You shake my hand. You tell me we got a deal. You don't get to back out on that deal. So he said, hey, we've agreed. We've agreed on what we were going to give him. We all came to an agreement on the length of the deal, the guaranteed money and total money. Me and Micah got an understanding. I've agreed to give more money than has ever been given in terms of guaranteed money than anyone ever has as far as a defensive player. I've done that. Now I am the cat that writes the check. Now Micah's got 3 years with the Cowboys left. He's got 3 years. At some point, somebody has to have the say over the other. At some point, it has to be that way. My job is managing the check, okay? Micah's got to do the playing. Where's the least important part of this whole equation that we're talking about? The attorney or the agent, okay? He works for Micah. Which basically I feel like is him putting the pressure like, hey, Micah, if you want to be here and play, tell your agent to fall in line. But the agent is supposed to be looking out for his client, and Micah doesn't seem to be ready to draw that line in the sand with his agent. He wants some protection and wants to be properly taken care of. I would like to see what the offer him and Jerry has agreed to, or that they agreed to, like behind closed doors, that the agent doesn't want. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, Dak Prescott was very open the whole time, like, hey, talk to my agent. I'm not talking with you, Jerry. I'm not doing all this. I got an agent for a reason. Figure it out with him. Dak didn't really go back and forth in the media. Dak was like, hey, pay me. Talk to my agent and pay me. And guess what? They talked to his agent and they paid him. And then Dak got hurt, and then Dak kind of fell apart a little bit, and the Cowboys aren't very good. Maybe Jerry's got some cold feet, but that's where we're at. Next headline. Yeah, you have more headlines?
Oh, there's headlines, but I was also a question too, because maybe we have some callers on the line. I don't know if you want to get to them now or.
We'll get to them in the next segment. We'll do a couple more headlines and get to them. I mean, I assume they're calling about the Tennessee stuff.
Tennessee and maybe the Cowboys headline stuff as well.
Oh, okay. Well, if they want to get to the Cowboys, go ahead and get them. Who we got?
I believe it's Roberto on.
All right, if you want to get to the Cowboys stuff, go ahead, Roberto. Welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
Morning, John. Long time. Well, I guess I saw you a couple weeks back, but good to hear your voice, buddy.
Appreciate you coming to Smokey's night. You and your beautiful wife. Glad you guys came and supported the cause and got to watch some baseball. Good to talk to you.
It was actually a great time, and anybody who missed it, it's a shame. So as far as the Micah Parsons thing, I have a proposal of what went on in that meeting to you. You think Jerry Jones offered him several oil rigs in West Texas?
It wouldn't be the worst offer. Like, hey, we'll take care of you outside of football. We'll take care of you. I'll get you set up, and you could pull in X amount of dollars the rest of your life. Forget all this salary cap stuff.
If you're a Texas oil billionaire type tycoon guy, why would you not, like, hey, you get all the profits from this oil derrick or these oil derricks for, 15 years or in perpetuity after your career or whatever.
The funny part is that's now like legal with college players, but illegal for NFL players. Like college players could maybe have that type of setup. All the Texas Tech transfers, maybe they should have some oil money written into their contract. But in the NFL, of course, they got the salary cap rules.
Right. But is that salary?
No, you
that's
can't
actually deferred comp technically.
But you can't do that with the CBA. Like there's strict rules to keep NBA. Especially I've read about it mostly in the NBA because like the Dallas Mavericks almost kind of got in trouble with that with Dirk Nowitzki back in the day. And yeah, you can't do any type of compensation or really even like give any like ownership stake either. Like Steph Curry's been talking about how the Warriors probably should have given him a piece of ownership back in the day as much money as he's made them, but. No, they consider that circumventing the salary cap.
But I wonder in college if there's right now if you could do that.
I'd say in college you could. I think in college anything goes. Like as far as right now, now maybe that's something that gets litigated down the line. But yeah, no, I think you can do anything right now with the NIL.
I will say this. I don't know. This is an aside. Have you seen Landman, the show Landman with Billy Bob Thornton?
I have not, but I'm familiar with it.
Jerry Jones has an amazing cameo in that. By the way. So if I'm Micah Parsons and I shake a man's hand and I say, yeah, that's how I'm built. If everybody acquiesces and says, this sounds fair, and then an agent gets involved, man, I get protecting your hindsight, but man, that's a bad look.
I would like to know like the tone of the conversation because like, you've been in business meetings. I've been in business meetings where you've had some negotiations and you like, you start talking stuff. You're like, yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. Send me the numbers. Let me look at them. Now, to most people that wouldn't be an official, like, yes, we're signing. But yeah, if it's like a handshake official, they're talking about deferred money and how much guaranteed he's going to get over the career and his injury protections and all the extra like legal stuff. That's a little bit more different and more official. But I imagine Jerry's just like, hey, Michael, we're going to make you the highest paid, and we're going to keep you here. We're going to do all that. How's that sound, buddy?
Yeah, I'll give you $200 million or whatever the number is. You did just some off-the-cuff number, and he says, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, like send it over to my people and let me know. Like to me, that's a little bit different. And Jerry's trying to get him, no, you agreed. You said this was good. We don't need to get into all the other stuff. And the agent, of course, is saying we gotta get some stuff hammered out here. So I'd like to know the tone of the conversation.
That's fair. Well, I'm glad we adjudicated that here. You and I should be in that room, honestly, John.
I would
trade those guys.
I would trade Micah Parsons to the Cowboys, I'd trade from the Cowboys to the Titans. I'd get him in Nashville.
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah, he seems like he would like Music City.
There you go. And no taxes, just like Texas. So there you go. That's your. Just as far as the Tennessee thing. So here's what I think will happen, and then I want to tell you what I'll do it in reverse. Here's what I actually want to happen. I know this sounds stupid as I wouldn't hate keeping Vanderbilt just because of in-state and we need a guaranteed win every year. I love the idea of keeping Alabama. I think if you have a named game, it's like having a farm with a name, John. You're a farm kid. It's like having a farm with a name. If you have a farm with a name that's stately, you don't get rid of games with names.
I think that's fair.
And then I want to keep Florida, but that's personal reasons. My cousin was a walk-on there, and they beat our ass for 15 years, and I feel like we've pulled even with them, if not moved ahead of them. And I would like to kind of get our comeuppance for them, but I know that's not going to happen. I think it will either be Kentucky or South Carolina, and if that were to happen, Tennessee gets the best draw of anybody in the whole conference.
Of any of the major players, for sure. Yeah. Of any of the major players, for sure.
And are we? Yeah, I heard you say tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Are we considered tier 2 in your opinion? I didn't quite catch that.
Well, there was something with Nick Saban where he was complaining because they had split it up with tier 1 and tier 2. It might have been during COVID, or it might have been right after COVID when they were trying to talk about this 9-game schedule. And at that point, we were considered tier 2 because it was taking your previous 5 years into account.
Oh, yeah.
And Saban was like, Tennessee is much better than what their history's been. You know, like they're not a tier 2 program. It's not fair to make us play LSU and Tennessee. Like they're both tier 1. I think by the time we actually recalibrated, we'd probably be up in tier 1 now, especially if the season this year, is at least like 8-4 or 9-3. I think our recent history would move us up.
I mean, we've won 30 games in the last 3 seasons.
Right.
That is not many SEC conference teams that could say that.
Right.
So I'll leave you with this, guys. I'm maybe a little higher on Joey Aggs than most people. I think Tennessee's schedule is just hot dog water, and I feel very confident that Tennessee's winning 9 games this year. I feel very confident, and I'm putting the floor at 8. Anything below that, Josh Heupel's. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it. If he gets 7 or less wins, it's hot seat time. And I hate to do that because he's been so successful. I'm not saying I'm doing that, but I think our fan base will, because that schedule is abysmal. Take care.
Appreciate the phone call, Roberto. We'll dive into some of those comments. We'll talk some more about the scheduling. You know, it sounds crazy. I mean, like when you say hot seat time, that just means the pressure gets ramped up. Of course, he's not saying he would get fired if you go 7-5. No one thinks that. But like a 7-5 season would have people pretty disgruntled. But I feel even then, Heupel could survive 2 bad seasons at this point, in my opinion. But we'll dive into some more college football talk over the rest of the hour. We'll dive into that next. We got Jesse Simonton coming up to end the hour. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is FanRun Radio.
If you're looking for a sports talk show that gets to the bottom of the biggest sports topics, then check out Under Review on FanRun Radio. I'm Bob Baskerville, and every day, Sam Beard and I cover the latest news on the Vols. We also widen our view to cover what's hot in the SEC. From local and national media pros to the coaches and players we all root for, we have the best guests and experts anywhere. So tune in weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on AM 1340, FM 105.7, or stream live on our free app. It's Under Review on FanRun Radio.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through. And if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Hey, football fans, this is Stats.
And this is the Sheik. And together we are the Cover Boys, and we cover college football like no one else.
Each week we preview all the big games in college football, and we may not tell you who's going to win, but we'll tell you who's going to cover.
Our patented right sides are clicking at 66% against the spread all time.
So join us right here every Friday evening at 8 for the Cover Boys on the official voice of Tennessee fans, FanRun Radio.
And enjoy the winners, everyone.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
This is Coach Josh Heupel. In football and life, you need a solid defense to protect what matters most. That's where Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee comes in. Score peace of mind with Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. They're your line of defense. FBITN.com.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance of the Tennessee Vols. I'm here to be that line of defense for all your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871 and go Vols.
Let's head over to FanRun TV over on YouTube. Shout out to the freaks. Please give a little kiss, a little smooch to the subscribe button, to the like button. FanRun TV over on YouTube. Brandon writes in, John, what third team would you want the least? And what third team would you want the most for Tennessee's rivals? I do think it is safe to say that no matter what this conversation is, no matter where it heads, no matter what, I think everyone is in agreement and should be in agreement here in Knoxville and should be in agreement, Bubba, across the entire SEC. But like, we could all come to an agreement that like Tennessee and Vandy are being protected and Tennessee, Alabama are going to be protected, right? Like you could say that Alabama and Vanderbilt are 2 of the 3. I know you said you didn't want that, but like we know that's going to happen, right?
I mean, Alabama for sure. For Vanderbilt, honestly, I know they're in state and it's always kind of, you know, I mean, I like never mind. Rewind. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no real way to argue that like Vanderbilt's not going to be on ours. Like,
I would say we either have Vandy or Kentucky. You know, one of those instead of both. But it makes more sense for us to have Vanderbilt than Kentucky.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, no, I concur. I think that no matter what, Alabama and Tennessee are going to play. I think Tennessee and Vanderbilt are going to play. So Brandon's asking, what third team would I want the most and what third team I would want the least? Now, I'm going to do this from an actual perspective of not just wanting the easiest thing for Tennessee. You know what I mean? Because like you could easily just try to make the case, you know, just give us give us a bought win, give us the easiest win. Kentucky, that's the team I want the most. Mississippi State, yeah. The team I would want the most, is it not Florida? Like, do we not have fun with that rivalry?
I mean, fun in a weird masochistic way sometimes, but yeah.
I like the rivalry. I like the rivalry.
Oh, yeah, it's the game I look forward to the most every year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people that are 35 or younger kind of feel the same way. You know, I've always said, and, you know, people say that it's a generational thing. So people like, 45 or older, they love the Alabama rivalry more. But people my age, they kind of, Florida's their biggest rival. So, like, I would like that game to stay. I'm not scared of Florida the same way that Cody is. Now, look, if we're getting rid of this yearly rivalry, then we better win in the swamp this year. Same for Georgia. Like, if this is going away from an annual rivalry, like we better win this year against these teams, or else those droughts can start really stacking up. Of course, you've beaten Florida. You just ain't beat them in the Swamp. But if you start going to the Swamp only once every 4 years, you might look around and all of a sudden it's like a 50-year drought. If you all of a sudden only start getting 2 shots, 1 shot every presidential, every presidential term, that's a way that they could really start stacking up where you haven't won there in 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. So yeah, you better take your shot this year. Same for beating Georgia.
The one thing from this that seems like it's going to happen, and it hurts, which has already kind of happened, but the removal of the names of games. The third Saturday in October, third Saturday in September, for Tennessee against Alabama and Florida respectively.
Yeah.
Seems like that's no longer going to exist. It's only going to exist if it's, like the Iron Bowl. Or,
I think the third Saturday in October will stay. I think they'll keep that as a yearly rivalry, and I think they'll keep that on the schedule at that same place. I think. Now,
why don't we just keep the name, but, regardless of whenever they play. So it's like third Saturday in October, we're playing
on November 15th.
Third week of September. Yeah.
Maybe that happens, but I think they've done a good job, and it hasn't always been the third Saturday, but they've done a pretty good job of keeping that in the same place. Like, I do think they want to protect these rivalries. Like, the Iron Bowl is still the final game. The Egg Bowl is still the final game. Tennessee and Alabama's gotten pretty close to being the third Saturday in October. So they've done a pretty good job of protecting that. But again, if you're asking me my heart of hearts, like the team I want the most, it would be Florida, keeping Florida on the schedule. At least right now. That's how I feel right now, being asked it on Friday morning in August. We'll see how the season goes. If we go down there and they're 9-2 and or 9-1 and thriving and back to being a top program in the country, and we go down there and get our ass kicked again, maybe I'll have a different answer at the end of the year. But like right now, I view us as a better program than Florida, and I view us as equals at the very least, but like actual rivals.
So I know this kind of goes against the whole purpose of this, but do you think that eventually the 3 would be swapped out? Like,
No.
say, like it becomes so one-sided that they're just like, all right, how about we put you on pace with, for us, let's just say.
Yeah, that's possible, Bubba, but I think it would take like more realignment, like more teams coming to the conference. Like, I don't think we're going to have long enough for this to get lopsided. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we're done expanding in the SEC. I don't think things are done changing. Like, I think I don't disagree there, but like I think we got our 16 teams now. We'll have more than 16 teams by I feel confident that by 2028. Like,
bring back Tulane, bring back Sewanee, bring back Georgia Tech, and I'm all in. At least one of those. I'd take Georgia Tech back.
Georgia Tech would be all right with me, but
also say bring in West Virginia. Why not?
I don't really like West Virginia fans. I don't really like their program. They don't feel like SEC to me. I know people say that, but they don't feel SEC to me.
That's just mountain folk.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
Like mountain folk synonymous with the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just talking about just their whole aesthetic as athletic program. They don't feel like SEC to me. Keep them out of there. I don't want them. But to get back to the second part of the question, what team would I least want as my yearly rival? The answer is probably for me, South Carolina.
Is that just current because of Beamer and how they are as a program right now, or?
To me, like, it just feels like.
I mean, we've had some historic moments, like bringing out the black jerseys against them.
No, I mean, like, yeah, that's part of the reason is like it's been a little bit too close of a rivalry over the last 15 years, 16 years. Like, I don't really want to be headed there in November of seasons. Like, once they did that to us in 2022, I don't really want to play them too much. Not necessarily a scared thing. It's just maybe now's not the time to say this because they are ranked, top 15 in the preseason. But I feel like most years there's just no real reward for beating South Carolina. And you lose too often to them to, like, take that chance. And just, like, I do find Beamer annoying. I do find their school annoying. Like, to me, that's just probably the least one I would want.
So to kind of go with that least, reward, what's the reward for beating Kentucky or Vanderbilt then?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I was going to say, at least with the Kentucky thing, it is so lopsided that like it's almost a foregone conclusion. And you have like a mental edge over their fan base and their program. You don't really have that with South Carolina. They've beaten you enough in your two best seasons. I mean, I guess not last year, but two of your three best seasons of the last 15 years, they've kind of spoiled. They cost you the SEC East in 2016 by beating you with a 17-year-old quarterback, and they ended your playoff chances in 2022 by beating Hendon Hooker and maybe cheating to do so. But like, I just got more bad memories of South Carolina. Kentucky's never really beaten us when it mattered. So like, I agree with your point that there's not much of a reward there. I agree, but the reward is just like continuing your dominance, continuing that mental edge.
Is that because you're also associating that with other sports as well? Like we'd be able to use that for when it comes to basketball season, or
partly, yeah, just like them as a school in general. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because all of a sudden, if you remove Tennessee, Kentucky from a football rivalry, I do think the basketball rivalry loses maybe not juice, but like you do lose some like main talking points of the back and forth. And I do think Kentucky fans probably maybe this is dumb, but like they have less disdain for Tennessee as a school without the football rivalry, right? I'm not saying they don't hate our basketball program too, but like a part of why they hate us so much is that they're dominated in football. Let's go to break. We'll come back. We'll grab Jesse Simonton. We'll talk some SEC football. Stick with us as Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
You're listening to FanRun Radio, the sports humans.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
I know.
Slow mesh. We got the Fox Sports Knoxville podcast feed. Make sure you listen. We're going to drop these at the beginning of every week during SEC football season. Let's check in with some SEC topics with Jesse Simonton.
As the number one seed, I think there's a chance that they go undefeated in the regular season, particularly if they beat LSU.
Now, do you think Clemson is the best team in the country, or just is that a combination of their schedule as well?
Combination schedule. I do think Clemson is, Jesus came back in 3 days. It might have taken Dabo a little bit longer to
blasphemy.
Bring
blasphemy.
Back. It might
strike
taken,
you down. Blasphemy.
It might have taken a little maybe 5 years to resurrect Clemson's title hopes, but I do think they're alive and well again. And so, teaser, I don't have them winning the national championship, but I do have them as my number one seed. Number 2 seed, Penn State. So I do have Penn State beating Ohio State for that Big Ten championship. I just think that I'm a huge James Franklin skeptic, but it's hard to screw this up with as many questions that the Buckeyes have and as many, I like the brain trust of Colton Nickey year 2, bringing in Jim Knowles there. I think that, that's a pretty superpower coordinator combo. Number 3,
this will be the year. This will be the year. Penn State, you're back in Penn State and Texas A&M. There are certain certainties. There are, well, at least Ole Miss. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess Kiffin's never really navigated a season with expectations.
He's Charlie
really.
Browned it every year too.
So yeah, you are going. There's a couple certainties. A&M's not going to win anything, and Penn State's not going to beat Ohio State. Except for that one time. Good luck there. Good luck backing both of them.
If this is going to be a twister year, people are already saying this is going to be crazier than 2007. If we got, twister 2 here, I'm going to take some of these crazy outliers happening. So I got Alabama, not a surprise. They've won many, I think Georgia and Alabama won 10 of the last 11 SEC championships. I have Alabama winning the SEC championship, little Kalen DeBoer revenge season. And then number 4, I do have Ohio State. Again, this is because they've reseeded, you don't have to win your conference tournament to necessarily get a bye. I do think if Ohio State beats Texas in week 1, they have a strong case probably to, take that, still get a top 4 seed in the entire tournament. So the way it all plays out, I won't do each individual matchup, but I got Clemson versus Georgia in the semifinals with Clemson beating the Dogs, a little Dabo revenge there. And then I got Alabama beating Penn State, and I have Alabama as my national champion this year, John.
That makes me sick.
Yeah,
that makes me sick.
Not going to be good for the folks in Knoxville Club.
No,
but we'll see.
We'll see. The idea that Ty Simpson is going to take Alabama to a national championship, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't. Now, could Ty Simpson have taken some of those, 2010 Alabama teams to championships with Nick Saban coaching? Yes. But I just feel like in modern football, I'd be shocked if he was able to game manage his way to a championship. And everything I've read from their scrimmages and seen updates about their practices and stuff, the nicest thing they'll say about him is he's not making mistakes. But they're like, it's because he's checking the ball down a lot. He is trying to game manage his way. And I'd just be surprised.
It worked for Coker.
It did. It did, but that was a long time ago. Could you game manage your way to a championship in modern football? Maybe. Notre Dame almost did it last year with Leonard. And Will Howard, you could argue, was a game manager for most of the regular season, although I do think he stepped up his game drastically in the actual, playoff and national championship run. But we'll see. We'll see. So run me just through your SEC teams.
So I got 5. That's the big thing. I got 5. So I got in terms of
just go top to 11, bottom. Yeah, just go to top to bottom.
11 Ole Miss, 9 A&M, 5 Georgia, or 7 Texas, 5 Georgia, 3 Alabama.
Okay. I couldn't recall you saying Texas, so I was wondering if you had left them out, but okay, you got them in. That feels like it'd be tough to get both A&M and Texas in as at-larges with them playing, final week of the season, but I guess that would make it that last game a little anticlimactic, huh? And then they're going to expand the playoff even further.
That's what Ohio State Michigan was last year, right?
Well, at least Michigan wasn't in. At least Michigan didn't get in.
True.
And yeah, so I mean, it was anticlimactic for Ohio State, but yeah. Okay. All right. Alabama beating Clemson. So just really we'll throw away the last 5 years. We'll pretend they didn't happen. We're right back to Dabo versus Alabama. Okay.
Might have not been 3 days, might have been 5 years, but the resurrection is here.
Enough with the blasphemy. You're going to get us struck down. We're in the Bible Belt. We're talking about the Bible Belt here. relax. That would be so annoying if Dabo was back as the #1 team in the country.
The amount of gaslighting he's going to –
yeah, the victory lap he's going to take.
And here's the thing is that Dabo deserves credit for keeping Clemson even on a plane. And now kind of, the plane dipped and now it's trying to, reascend. But the problem is that he will rewrite history to such an awful degree. You know, he'll act like they haven't brought in any transfers. Well, they brought in 2 receivers this year finally, and Will Helt, you know, the kid from Purdue, you know, every year it seems like Purdue loses their best edge rusher and safety to some other school. Well, that kid, the best edge rusher, is now at Clemson. He also, you know, has been historically and fickly loyal to these staffers, these Clemson boys. You know, if it's not the Clemson way, you know, he is very hesitant to go outside the tree, where he finally did that with Garrett Riley at offensive coordinator. And now he's shaking up his defensive staff. He moved on, you know, from one of his longtime lieutenants for a while at defensive, on the defensive side, and brought in Tom Allen. So again, it would not surprise me at all with that. I think they might have the best front seven in football. Klubnik obviously is one of the more seasoned quarterbacks. They're going to be good. It's just, it may be a little nauseating for folks because Dabo is going to let it known that they're good in the very Dabo Sweeney way.
Do you feel the same way about all of that if they lose to LSU week 1? Like, do you think they could keep that together and still end up maybe not getting a bye, but being good enough to get to the playoff and advancing to the championship?
Yes, because we saw it literally happen last season with a worse team. And here's the math on that too, John. The reason why the ACC sucks, and ACC fans can get mad at us, but it's just true. The reason why it sucks is that their best teams outside of Clemson don't win the games that they're supposed to. Clemson does. By and large, Dabo Sweeney is not losing to a bunch of teams that he should not be losing to. You know who does do that? Florida State. Miami does that. You know, even with these expectations, Louisville stumped its toes a year ago. You know, now Syracuse had the huge come up because I think Fran Brown's a great coach, but also they had the world's easiest Power 5 schedule a year ago. So we'll see how they regress this next season. But even if Clemson, you know, a year ago they got boat raced against Georgia and still made it to the ACC championship game and won, I don't think there's. I would be highly doubtful that they get, you know, hammered at home, but they could lose. And I would still say that that's the team that would rally and still with that ACC schedule, you know, make a run back to Charlotte.
It's funny because the ACC does suck, but as I find myself looking at the schedule, I'm like, you know, at Georgia Tech, that could be a tough game. Like maybe they have a little magic down there. At North Carolina, you know, Bill Belichick might have a perfect game plan. And, you know, at Louisville, that's a tricky place to play. And, you know, like the ACC sucks, but it does feel like at least maybe there would be a couple of landmines for them to trip over. At South Carolina, of course, that's going to be a tough one, you know, on November 29th. So I know a lot of people are high on Clemson, but to me, that schedule is at least a little bit trickier than most ACC schedules usually are.
It's definitely more difficult than their typical schedule.
Just having 2 SEC teams, you know, bookending it does make it, you know, really tough for them too. So I'm kind of surprised at all the Clemson love because.
Well, they had that a year ago, but I think it's also people think South Carolina's going to be a little bit better. Now we'll see.
Right.
But they definitely think that like Louisville is going to be a tough matchup. Going to Louisville, that could be tough. The Georgia Techs, you mentioned them. I think a lot of folks are very high on the potential upside of Brent Key's team. So if Clemson gets to that, you know, number 1 seed, they'll have earned it for sure.
Which I guess that's fair about last year's point, but so maybe that's the case. Maybe like Clemson can afford to lose to both SEC teams and just win the ACC. They just win the ACC championship like they did last year because they went in there 9-3 and then was able to beat SMU and get in. All right, let's get to a couple questions. Let's check out the mailbag, clean it out before we get out of here. Does Arch Manning have to make it to New York for the Heisman ceremony in order for people to not consider him a disappointment this season? Says it feels like he's been set up to fail by the media and fans, and just the expectations are too high for someone that doesn't have much experience. Does he have to make it all the way to New York for the Heisman ceremony, or does Texas's team success, can he hide behind that?
He could probably, if Texas is good, Arch Manning's making it to New York. Don't we agree on that? Because of his last name?
I would
even
say
if
so.
he isn't awesome, I just think in terms of, I don't know who asked this question, DF or something like that. I do think that it's fair to point out that I don't know if he's been set up to fail. I don't think Arch has been set up to fail, and I think he's a very mature kid. And this is the path that Peyton, Archie, and Eli and his dad obviously all kind of set out for him to kind of slow roll this thing. But even that, they might have tried to slow roll it, but the second Texas plays that first game against Ohio State, it's like there's no slow rolling, John. It's afterburners only. And I think every single week there's going to be a referendum on his play and his legacy. And that kind of sucks for that kid.
Well, I think that's what he means by saying he's been set up to fail. Is that like you have Feinbaum saying he's the best quarterback prospect. You have guys saying he's going to do something that hasn't been done with the combination of athleticism. Right. Like I think that's what he means by saying he's set up to fail, is that if he doesn't come out and have 40 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, we'll look at him and be like, not that good.
Joe Burrow threw 60 touchdowns like 5 years ago, and he's already been whitewashed.
Well, he couldn't. He wasn't as fast as Arch. So maybe if Arch, has a couple 80-yard runs. I know Burrow could run and scramble, but it wasn't like he had the afterburners. Now, Trevor Lawrence, on the other hand, could do some of that. But I do think Arch has to be near perfect to live up to the expectations, which I do think is pretty tough for him. But it's not like he doesn't have the last name Manning. So, like, it wasn't like it's the media setting it up as much as it is just, hey, having the last name Manning. All right, so let's see. Assuming Tennessee gets average quarterback play in the first few weeks, is this year's Georgia game an if not now, then when type of game for Heupel, meaning like kind of now or never? If Tennessee at least has adequate quarterback play, if they can't beat Georgia in Neyland Stadium early in the season when Tennessee is undefeated and should be, let's just say, uninjured in front of a raucous crowd that still has reason to believe, would it be an if not now, when type of thing?
I don't know. I'll let you take first crack at this one.
Well, I feel like you're never going to have a better setup. So from that perspective, I looked at 23, I looked at 21 as Tennessee didn't have talent that could compete with Georgia. 21, it was Heupel's first year. Hendon Hooker was not the Hendon Hooker of 2022. Of course, Joe Milton wasn't dynamic enough in 23. I don't think you had the guys in the trenches to compete with Georgia and compete with them in the trenches, but also you combine that with their own quarterback play. Like, I don't know how many times you'll be looking at them coming into Knoxville where you could say that that's going to be their quarterback's pretty much first start, in a game that matters. Is that fair to say when you look at Gunnar Stockton?
Well, so I was going to say this from just knowing a bunch of stuff from Georgia ties and that kind of stuff, twofold to why you could rubber stamp made you look question about if not now then when for beating Georgia for this season for Tennessee. The Gunnar Stockton thing at the forefront for sure. That's going to be his first road start and 100,000 fans in Neyland Stadium going crazy. That is something that is absolutely an element that Tennessee should and is going to want to try to take advantage of. I think the other reason why, if it's not now then when, is, again, this is kind of some inside stuff, but I don't know if Georgia, I have Georgia in the playoff this year, but I don't think they're going to win a national championship. And folks will probably say, Kirby Smart's team's taking a step back because that's going to be a couple years in a row. They haven't made it to the championship, or who knows. We'll see how the season plays out. But I'm telling you, John, there is massive confidence in Athens about this freshman class that they brought in. To the point that there's multiple freshmen, some 5 stars, a couple others, that are legitimately pushing and or in position to potentially start, true freshmen at Georgia, which is fairly rare. And it's not because the guys behind them or veteran players suck. It's because these guys are just that good and you can't keep them off the field. And so if you know that those guys are going to have multiple seasons to play in Athens, that would be concerning. And you're talking about major positions, offensive tackle, wide receiver, running, some of these defensive tackle. So again, I think the if not now, then when thing, it could hold some merit.
Now, I do think, probably not the same caliber, when you look at Georgia's recruiting, but like there is some real palpable buzz about Tennessee's freshmen as well, that they have hit on, 5 or 6 guys in this class that are going to be on the field this year and should make plays. And of course, Tennessee, again, not Georgia's level, but recruiting some blue chippers in the next class too. So I do think Tennessee's cycling up a bit, but like, I just can't help but think like this is going to be the worst on paper quarterback they'll have coming into Knoxville in the foreseeable future. Like, again, like you can say first road start, and I know it might sound stupid because he started a playoff game last year, but like to me, it might as well be his first real start because last year they had the kid gloves on. Last year, there were no expectations for him in that game against Notre Dame. It was kind of like, hey, we'll come out here. We'll see if you could do anything. We're going to take it really cautious with you, and we're going to babysit you. That's not going to be the case, this season. And they get Marshall, they get Austin Peay to get his feet wet, but like he's going to be asked to play actual quarterback when he comes into Knoxville. Like he's going to have to actually be the guy where they're going to like have a game plan for him, and he's going to have to go in and play, just actual SEC top 10 type of football. So I even look at it as maybe just his first start in general, like as the real guy, as the guy that can't hide behind youth and inexperience.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Notre Dame thing still counts as his first start, but it certainly was on a road game. That was it was a weird deal with the shooting and all that, the game getting delayed. This will be a big test. This will be a big test for sure.
Who do you think is the hottest quarterback in the SEC?
I don't. What kind of question is that? I don't know. What are they asking?
Who do you think's the best looking quarterback? I guess like who do you trust? Who you throwing the keys to? I guess it's the Mark Sanchez test. Who's the alpha? Who walks in and you remember Trent Dilfer said, hey, I don't know if he's going to be the best, but if all the quarterbacks are hanging out, they're all throwing the keys to Mark Sanchez. Never mind. You don't think any of the quarterbacks are handsome. All right, disregard.
I don't know. I mean, I my guess is everyone's asking for Arch to pick up the check, but Nuss says, hey, I'll do it.
Dale, feel free to let us know in the YouTube comments who you find to be the hottest quarterback in the SEC. Other guys can post that as well on the YouTube channel. Who is more likely to be a college football coach next year, Nick Saban or John Gruden?
John Gruden, unequivocally. I don't think Saban's coming back to coach unless he's taking over an NFL franchise. And even then, I'm skeptical that Saban gets back in the game. It seems pretty apparent that John Gruden wants back in the game. Now, will he get an opportunity? I don't know. There was word on the street that, he wanted the UCF job a year ago, and they didn't even give him a sniff, and they went back to Scott Frost. So, some of the comments Gruden has made, not even the comments that are in this NFL lawsuit withstanding, the controversial comments, not those. They got him, booted from the Raiders. Some of the comments that he's made about like what this modern version of college football is would be a major red flag to me if I was an athletics director. But we've seen with these celebrity coaches, man, I mean, like ADs, they fall hook, line, and sinker for them. And Dion, I think, has worked out to some degree. Obviously, Trent Dilfer has done a complete faceplant at UAB. I think he's going to be fired by season's end. It would not surprise me if somebody gives Gruden a shot. He's pretty clear that he wants Arkansas and that Walmart money. So
I think I'm opposite than you. I think I say it's, to me, Saban by far to be more willing to be coaching in college football. I just don't see Gruden going to college football. I think if he takes care of this lawsuit. What
program is Nick Saban going to go to?
I think if LSU or Florida are both open, he at least listens to both of those programs. Would he not? Like if Brian Kelly face plants this year and they fire him and he knows the talents and the grounds and can bookend his career, or even Florida comes open and he knows the resources he'd have there, I think he'd have to listen to both of those schools.
Wow. That's spicy. That's some spice right there.
Are those not two top 6 jobs, like pretty easily? Like at least 2 top 10 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, like he would be much more inclined to go back to LSU because he's kind of sung its praises and how much he loved there and kind of lamented the fact that he left for the Dolphins when he did. And I think the powers in the be in that state. That would be pretty fascinating. Again, I see no chance that Nick Saban comes back. I just don't think he wants to deal with this NIL world. Gruden wants to be back.
He's got the president pulling strings for him to set up rules and stuff. So, I mean, he's got an inside man cleaning up the sport. I'm surprised that you have the opposite take there because I just don't see Gruden as a college coach at all. Like, I just don't see him.
I don't see him as a college coach either, but I think he's so badly – he's never going to get to coach in the NFL again, and he so badly wants to coach.
Okay. All right. Well, anything you want to add?
Here's the actual answer. It's the coach that wasn't named but is also out of a job and has also won a championship. It's Jimbo Fisher.
I thought you were going to say Ed Orgeron because he said just now before we came on that he wants to get back into coaching, that he has the itch again.
I saw that. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. I'm sure he's itching. I'm sure he's got a little sunburn. He's got an itch, but I don't know if he's actually itching to get back into coaching. Jimbo, though, it would not surprise me if Jimbo finds himself on the sidelines a year from now.
Who the hell would get excited for Jimbo Fisher to be coaching them, though? That's the question. It is. How do you sell that? Like Gruden and Saban, obviously you could sell both pretty easily. I just don't understand how you sell anybody on Jimbo Fisher in 2026, but we'll see how it plays out. There are a lot of coaches.
I didn't say he was getting an SEC job. I didn't say he was getting an SEC job.
Well, if you're Jimbo Fisher, what's the hell's the point of doing it if you're not getting a big time job? I mean, surely he's not hard up for money.
Dude, because these guys don't. I guess you can't say explicitly that they don't like their wives, but they don't like they can only play so much golf and do so much fishing, and then they're like, man, I kind of want to go yell at some kids a little bit.
I guess Dan Mullen was willing to go to UNLV, so I guess we'll see.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. FANRUN Radio.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit menspronknoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, FANRUN Radio.
Talk Sports. Talk Sports. Talk Sports.
Talk Sports. Talk Sports from 7 to 10. Overrated, underrated on Wednesday. FANRUN Radio, Talk Sports said, not in my house. I ain't talking to Kimbe. Johnny Cody out here asking where the ops at. Tennessee Volunteers here for combat. It's the Cherokee Ghost, John Reed and Cody doing everything we can to bring Rocky Top back. Talk Sports from 7 to 10. Never leave a witness, never leave loose ends. Nico ain't nothing but a nuisance. 2026, we making new friends.
Talk Sports.
Hour number 3 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. If you're watching on video, shout out to you. You also see this beautiful blue polo I'm wearing, courtesy of our friends at Inward Half. Their fall line. Oh, it's ready. Go to inwardhalf.com. Check them out. It should be, I don't know if it's officially live. I know we're doing some work back here on it. I know it's here. I guess I need to check to see if it's live. Let me text to see if it's live. Inwardhalf.com. I'll get to the bottom of it for you. Bubba, let's get some hour 3 headlines going. Michael Beasley playing for $1 million this weekend on the Big 3 one-on-one tournament. Did you see this? Montrezl Harrell versus Michael Beasley. You care at all about that?
If we're being honest, not really. But is there a reason why you mentioned Michael Beasley?
Well, honestly, do you want a transparent answer there, Bubba?
Yes.
I was trying to say Malik Beasley, and I said Michael Beasley instead. But then I realized Michael Beasley was in the news. But I completely fumbled that because the one-on-one tournament for $1 million, or the one-on-one game for $1 million, is actually August 2nd. It's not even Sunday. So I just completely blew it. I was trying to say Malik Beasley, the guy from the Pistons we talked about.
I was going to say, because speaking of Malik Beasley, as of 20 whatever minutes ago, no longer a target of the federal gambling investigation conducted by the Eastern District of New York, potentially reopens free agency.
Yeah. See, just full disclosure, I was trying to say Malik Beasley, and I said Michael because for so long in my life, I've thought about Michael Beasley when I think of Beasley, on a basketball court.
No relation?
No, I don't believe so. I guess I can't say that for certain, but no, I've never heard that they're related. This is big for Malik Beasley, though. I mean, he's not going to prison.
No, absolutely. That's huge.
That's a big deal. But also now, he is back where he can be a free agent and, hopefully make some money because he's a pretty good player. And,
I'm curious.
I think that he could be a real steal. If I'm him, if you're him, what are you doing? Are you trying to make as much money as possible? Or at this point, are you just trying to go and rehabilitate your image, take a 1-year deal somewhere? Would you take a cheap deal with the Lakers?
The goal is
or a cheap deal with the Nuggets to play with Jokic and just get a whole bunch of open threes and try to be a missing piece on a championship contender and try to rehabilitate your image there? Or are you just trying to get as much money as possible because everyone knows that you owe your dentist $80,000?
Well, I feel like the thing is you just need to go somewhere to show that you can actually play basketball, because it's like you're telling me that you were just playing awful and not gambling, like for the purpose of that?
No. See, that's the thing, Bubba. You're wrong. He was playing good. No, he played good last year. And like in the game that they were accusing, like the game that they flagged suspicious, like gambling activity a couple of years ago, it was like somebody had bet a bunch of money on his under 3.5 rebounds, and he went out and grabbed like 7.
Oh, okay.
No, like that's why it never quite added up, these accusations, because he's coming off of a career year last year. I mean, he was awesome for the Pistons. Now, he did drop the ball out of bounds as they got eliminated in the playoffs, as they were set to try to shoot a game-tying shot. They passed it to him, and he dropped it, and it went out of bounds. That wasn't a good look. But otherwise, no, I mean, Malik Beasley was really, really good last year. He's a top 3 three-point shooter right now in the league. Yeah, I mean, he shot 41% from 3 on a lot of attempts. I mean, he's up there like Steph Curry range. Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, and Malik Beasley are like the high-volume good shooters. No, he would be
he looked great in Memphis Blue.
He'd look great on any team. I mean, honestly, like he cost himself a lot of money with this investigation. He cost himself a lot of money with this investigation, but I mean, he scored 16 points a game off the bench, and like I said, shot 41% from 3. Anybody can use that. Anybody that could shoot the basketball is an asset in today's NBA. So I'm curious to see what type of interest, because most of these big teams don't have money left. It wasn't like people are really carving out money. Even his own team, the Detroit Pistons, they moved on and went and signed Karis LeVert and gave him a bunch of money. So it's a pretty dry market. I'll be curious to see what his market actually is. Next headline, please.
Well, while we're on the topic of, the judge, the jury, and the executioner, Northwestern and former football coach Pat Fitzgerald have settled their lawsuit against the school, which was filed by Fitzgerald after his dismissal a couple years ago. He was suing the school for $130 million for wrongful termination, and I think this all happened because of a hazing incident that happened at Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, I remember at the time him getting fired and then voiding his contract and him saying basically he was going to lawyer up. So you said that is now settled?
Yes.
Are the terms disclosed? I imagine not.
They have not yet disclosed anything.
Typically, I don't feel like they actually usually do that. All these scenarios, they just keep it to themselves. I'll be interested to. I mean, I would like to know how much money he got out of this, but I mean, it ended his career for the most part.
Speaking of career enders here, Tennessee guard Ruby Whitehorn has been suspended indefinitely from the Lady Vols team activities. This comes after she was arrested back on August 8th and is still set to appear in court September 5th.
So suspended indefinitely, obviously leaves the door open that she can return. They're not dismissing her off the team. I guess.
It wasn't a dismissal from the team. It was just suspended from team activities indefinitely, which, I mean,
she was pretty good last year. I mean, for the Lady Vols. I mean, the stats don't really jump out at you in terms of like being eye-popping. Now, of course, Tennessee played a bunch of people. They played a platoon. Minutes weren't necessarily, nobody really had too heavy of minutes, so that's going to keep your stats down a little bit. But in 23 minutes, I mean, she averaged 11 points, was one of Tennessee's, scorers as a guard. Not a very good shooter, but could get to the rim, could score. Scored 16 points in the tournament loss to Texas, 14 points in their win over Ohio State. She had some pop there when it came to scoring. She scored 20 a couple times.
Oh, she's definitely got a little bit of pop in her feet.
Now, if that was a man, would you have made that same joke? If it was a man that had kicked down the door of his girlfriend, would you have made the same joke?
It probably would have been set up better, but yeah.
Okay, as long as you're consistent, because I'm going to stand on the side of domestic abuse, not funny. If you want to be on the other side, and domestic disturbances and all those things, like you think they're funny, you go on that side. I'll go on the side that I don't think they're funny, even if it's 2 women. But you do you, Bubba.
Have the same energy whenever you're watching the WNBA, John. And they start scrapping out there, and you say, "Hey,
no, see, that's
knock it
different."
off, ladies.
No, I don't have a problem with women fighting. I don't have a problem with women fighting. I'll watch women UFC fights. I'll watch the WNBA competition. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
This just isn't organized fighting.
Right. Exactly. That's the problem, is that this not this isn't organized fighting. This person was not a competitor. The victim in this was not a competitor of any sorts. Okay, that's the difference. I gotta quit watching so much WNBA. I was locked in last night to the Dream and Lynx. It just takes all my evenings up from 7:30 to, and then I was in bed watching the Aces and Mercury.
I mean, the Aces are now on 9 straight.
I think they owe me like a thank you, because I feel like, Bubba, their last loss was when I was in attendance, whenever SeatGeek tried to absolutely screw me. Like, I think that's the last time they've lost. I'm pretty sure they've won 9 in a row since then. Like, yeah, they lost 111-58 to the Lynx, and then have turned around and won, what'd you say, 9 in a row?
9 in a row.
And now, Asia Wilson is really surging for, another MVP. I got to give them respect. Look, I know people are like, oh my God, more WNBA talk. But I do think from just a sports perspective, you can appreciate a team getting absolutely humiliated with a record-breaking loss. They suffered the largest home loss in league history. And it was pretty ugly. Like, they were pretty lifeless. They looked like they weren't going anywhere this year. And I think just from a competition standpoint, anyone should be able to appreciate someone going from the lowest of low to then turning around and winning 9 straight. And it's not like they've beaten 9 straight bums. I mean, they've got some decent wins on that list while they're at it. So I appreciate the gut check. Like, from a Becky Hammond, coaching perspective, she was linked to the NBA for so long. From a coaching perspective, that's a big-time turnaround. To get through to your team, whatever happened that night after that loss, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they said there's some white guy up there in the crowd. And then they kind of had to flip the script after that a little bit.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
I was not the only white guy in the crowd. I was sitting next to another white guy in the crowd with his 5-year-old daughter. I wasn't the only one. There were more white guys in the crowd than you think.
That's nice.
Sorry for supporting women. You've made it clear this segment you are anti-woman. I'm pro-woman. We came from women, Bubba.
I don't think I ever said I was anti-women. I support women. I support them equally to the point where they should also be allowed to engage in fist fights if they want to. It's not just for men.
If they want to is the key there.
Men shouldn't just, be the only ones to be able to fight and scrap.
If they want to is the key. It doesn't seem like Ruby Whitehorn's girlfriend wanted to be in that fight, Bubba. That's why there's a police report. That's why there's an arrest and a hearing.
Look, only a couple people know the truth, and I'm not one of them.
Well, that is factually correct. I do not know the truth. I just know what has been alleged. Let's move on.
Moving on, Jalen Hyatt maybe saving his job just a little bit longer by getting a 30-yard reception touchdown from the one, the only Jameis Dub Eaton Winston.
Jameis Winston just came in cold, too, off the bench, right? Jackson Dart dealing with a little bit of an injury.
Concussion protocol. And Cam Scatterbo.
He ended up passing, they said, the concussion protocol, saying he was cleared, doesn't have a concussion. But Jameis Winston came in off the bench and, boom, dropped a dime to Jalen Hyatt, who, hasn't had any moments yet in the NFL. Like, I was thinking, was that his best moment? Just that preseason catch from Jameis Winston, it felt like that might be his best moment.
Did he not have one the first season that he was in with a touchdown catch?
In the regular season or in the preseason?
Regular season. I haven't kept up with his career.
No, he's got 0 career touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying he's never scored in the preseason. I'm that's not in front of me. But in terms of his actual NFL career, regular season,
whatever his longest catch is his greatest.
He does have he did have a 58-yard catch his rookie year, but did not score. it's been a disappointing career for Jalen Hyatt in the NFL.
A couple of VFLs.
31 total catches, 435 total yards. But I will say he hasn't had the best quarterback play. I think that's fair to say. And
Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito.
Russell Wilson, if Russell Wilson, is still going to get the start for the first half of the season before they move inevitably to Jackson Dart. Russell Wilson, his best attribute is throwing the deep ball.
This guy likes to run wide open.
So maybe he can connect on a couple deep balls with Jalen Hyatt and turn him into an NFL wide receiver. Maybe. But last night, that was cool to see him get a touchdown.
And speaking of connecting, not with deep balls, though, Jake El Gallo Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis on Netflix in an exhibition bout, which means this is yet another loss for combat sports. One, for just the whole weight class situation there. Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting around like 135. Jake Paul is fighting anywhere from 185 to 200. So, one, I don't think he should be doing that. Two, it's an exhibition fight, so we all know that Homeboy is doing it just to get paid.
Sure. Do we know what the payout's going to be?
We do not, but it's going to be live from Atlanta, November 14th.
Yeah, I got an alert about that. I got an email about that from State Farm. State Farm was like, hey, you come to some Hawks games. You like sports. Do you want to come to watch Jake Paul fight? I was like, nah, I'm good.
I think I'm officially over the Paul brothers experiment. I kind of like Logan when he was in WWE, still is in there, but honestly, nah. Maybe I should be able to split the difference of acknowledging one brother is better than the other, but also they both got bad history. I'm tired of these people, John. I'm standing on that. Anyways.
Do you have anything else?
Nope.
Perfect. Good batch of headlines. Hopefully Vols Team 85 is in the building. Stick with us. It's Talk Sports on FanRun Radio.
Streaming worldwide at FanRunRadio.com and on the free FanRun app. This is Big Orange Country's Sports Talk Radio Superstation. FanRun Radio, Knoxville.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Look out, East Tennessee. It's The Chase. Right here on FanRun Radio and Fox Sports Knoxville. Join me, Tennessee sports renaissance man, Chase Thomas, and the biggest rising stars in Tennessee sports media like Ryan Shumpert, Ethan Stone, Ryan Sylvia, Caleb Jarreau, William Pattison, and so many more folks every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. on WKGN's newest show, where we talk all things Tennessee Vols and always take your calls.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced. Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad, and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Back on the program, joined by our friend Vols Tim 85, a.k.a. Tim Hill, a.k.a. the high school ball knower, the high school mouth of the South. I got to work on that. I got to figure out something better for that. Top of the morning to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Cut it right on time, I think. I was running a little bit late, but we made it. It's Friday. There's football tonight. That means something in high school.
We got football that means something tomorrow in college. You got your orange and white on. You were Volled up. What did you make of the news of the 9-game SEC schedule as a Tennessee season ticket holder?
I mean, we knew it was coming pretty much.
Even though you sold them.
I did sell them, so shout out to you.
I didn't get my cut, but you did buy me lunch.
You got your cut.
I didn't get the cut I was after, but I did get some lunch.
Well, you forced.
We went from 10% to like, here's a $30 lunch. But I did enjoy the $30 lunch. I do appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I priced them too low, I think. But they're sold. They're in somebody's hands that's going to enjoy them, or maybe resell them. I don't know. Who cares? I got my money.
It would be kind of funny if they turn around and sold them for $3,000 and made a quick $500. That would be kind of funny.
That's how. I mean, I'm for that though, so I'm not against that.
But what'd you make of the 9-game schedule? Tennessee, of course, going to have 3 annual rivals. Some years you'll have 4 SEC teams coming into Neyland Stadium. Some years you'll have 5 home games inside Neyland Stadium. Danny White licking his chops at the prospect of raising ticket prices again. What'd you make of it?
So when are they going to announce the 9 or the 3 permanent?
It is, I would imagine, would be the topic of discussion at like the spring meetings type of thing. I would imagine. But maybe they would do that earlier because you have to have the schedule out next year. Yeah, so I mean,
this starts next year, so I would think it's going to be this football season they're going to announce it.
Yeah, I mean, as we talk through that, I would imagine you're right. The SEC did kind of put out a list. I found it from 2 years ago. They kind of put out what they thought would be fair when you look at the last, I think it was five years of records, looking at which teams were tier 1, which teams are in the middle, which teams are at the bottom, and Tennessee's 3 teams that they suggested back in 2023 were Alabama, Vanderbilt, which I think are locks.
Yes,
I think it also is fair. One's elite, one is bottom tier, and their third school back in 2023 was South Carolina, saying that the Tennessee's 3 rivals would be Alabama, Vandy, and South Carolina.
So then who do they think Kentucky's 3 are?
Kentucky's 3 they had at that time were Georgia, Mississippi State, and South Carolina.
I mean, to me, we are Kentucky's number 1.
I think so too.
And then I would think Florida would be Kentucky's number 2.
Now, whether or not they view Kentucky as important, that's yet to be seen. And what I mean by that is, do they say, well, Kentucky, man, you really want to play your number 1 rival? Okay, we'll make sure it happens. Or do they just say, hey, Kentucky, make a new number 1 rival because your football program isn't big enough to completely alter our balance competitively by giving Tennessee this, which means that South Carolina has to go here and blah, 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 and all of a sudden you've reset everything.
Yeah, that makes sense because Tennessee would have you would think an advantage having Kentucky and Vanderbilt every year.
Yeah, it would be high. You'd have an elite team and then 2 low teams.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking at it in 3 different tiers, you'd have Alabama elite tier, Vanderbilt bottom tier, and South Carolina's more smack dab in the middle. So from a competitive standpoint, that would make a lot more sense. They are, no matter how you feel about Shane Beamer, we all acknowledge that he's got a better program. They're a better school right now than Kentucky football, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm excited to see when they do announce this, just how this works. And so, like, Alabama. So they're getting us and Auburn.
Alabama. Well, this is what Nick Saban was bitching about so much back then, because he was getting Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee. And at the time, Tennessee was seen as like his easy opponent. And he's like, whoa. Like, they're bad right now. They've been bad, under Jeremy Pruitt. But like, they ain't always going to be bottom tier. Like, they're at least like a top 6 SEC program.
Yeah, so there's going to be some teams that get screwed.
Well, that's what I'm saying about Kentucky. Like, do they get their number 1 rival in Tennessee? I don't know if like the SEC cares about them. And like, Vanderbilt, like, who would even their 3 be? Like, hey, yeah, Tennessee, but then what? Like, who do you look at as Vanderbilt's football rivals outside of that?
I mean, I feel like Kentucky would be one just because they're so bottom tier. But I mean, after that, nobody. Florida, just because they play them every year, and sometimes they give them a close game. But other than that,
I don't think the SEC knew what to do with them, because in 2023, when they suggested it to them, they had Auburn and Missouri, which I don't think of Vanderbilt being rivals with either one of those schools at all. So I think there's like, throw it up against the wall, see what happens.
So does that have Texas and Oklahoma on there too?
Yeah, it's Texas and Oklahoma here as well. I would say, just one final thought on Vanderbilt. Like, I think they were just kind of seeing like, hey, Auburn needs a break because Auburn's other 2 rivals are Georgia and Alabama. So we got to give them the worst team in the league. Yeah. So here's Vanderbilt. Like, so it was almost like they were given that.
Who is Texas? A&M, Oklahoma, and who?
Arkansas.
Okay.
Which, if you're Texas, you're probably not thrilled with.
That's no bottom tier team.
Yeah, I mean, like, Arkansas has been bottom tier, but I think of them more as like lower middle class than I do just like poverty.
Yeah.
Now they've been poverty the last couple of years, but I think in most given years they would be lower middle class.
Right. I don't think of them in the same sense as Kentucky and Vanderbilt.
Right. Not at all. Oklahoma, Florida, Missouri, Texas, which, I mean, obviously Texas makes sense. Missouri, you get back that rivalry. I guess that makes sense. Florida, maybe just use to balance it out.
I'm just looking at the helmets here in front of us and just looking at each team and trying to pick the 3. So LSU's got Alabama, Florida.
No, see, that one wasn't protected, which to me that's an important rivalry over the last 30 years. Like, Florida LSU is a top 5 SEC rivalry as far as I'm concerned, but it wasn't worth protecting according to the SEC. They went with Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M, which, you're losing some history there.
It's a fun game every year.
But yeah, they're getting stuck with Alabama, who I guess they're like, hey, we can't.
Okay, so one more.
Georgia
would have Florida, Auburn, and who?
Kentucky.
Okay. That makes sense to give them.
Now, like, I feel like they come out pretty good. Now, maybe in some years, like, if Auburn gets back, if Florida gets back, maybe that changes and that looks tough. But right now, like, especially as judging the last couple of years, Florida 7-5, Auburn 6-6, Kentucky 6-6. Like, those are the type of programs they'd be playing. So that'd be a pretty good setup for Georgia. But we also acknowledge that could get a lot tougher, of course, if Auburn and Florida rose to the occasion. So who do you want Tennessee's to be?
Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and I don't care about playing Alabama every year.
Well, I think they're going to. I think you can go ahead and put Alabama and Vanderbilt in stone, which is funny because this didn't have Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
So okay, so you're asking who I want or who I think it will be?
I'm asking. I guess I asked who you wanted. I guess let's start there. Who do you want?
Who I want? I'll take Vanderbilt. I'll take Kentucky. and I would take Missouri or South Carolina.
A businessman like you, imagine you ain't going to be able to sell your season tickets at those.
They keep having this waiting list. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Are your 3 rivals? All right. Well, that's what you want. So you want the easiest path, clearly.
Absolutely.
You don't care about.
We're still playing everybody else within like a 2-year span or 3-year span.
You pay everybody within a 2-year span. You make every trip within a 4-year span. So, like, yeah, that still will happen. But
yeah, that's good enough for me.
Okay. Well, who do you think it will be then?
Vanderbilt, Alabama. I have a hard time thinking they get rid of Florida. Because you say LSU, Florida over the last 30 years is one of the top 5. I would think Florida, Tennessee is also.
Over the last 30 years, I'd say LSU, Florida's outranked Tennessee, Florida, though, right? Just because both programs have been better. I mean, Tennessee's gone through the wilderness a lot, and that's been a lopsided rivalry. So, like, I do wonder how that gets viewed. Florida would definitely have Georgia on their list, right?
Yes.
But outside of that, do they have anybody that they would automatically put on there? Because I think it would come down to either LSU or Tennessee. Probably not both, right? They wouldn't make them play Georgia, LSU, and Tennessee. They wouldn't
outside of Florida, like who is LSU's? Because you can't say Alabama. Okay? I mean, they played each other every year just because they were in the West. But
I think of that as a rivalry, though. I think of Alabama and LSU as a rivalry, but maybe that's just heavily on the Nick Saban connection and both teams being at the top.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how they do it.
I think we'll find out within the next few months because I don't think they can wait.
No, you're right. You're right, because correct me if I'm wrong, Bubba, maybe you can look it up, but I feel like we got our schedule last year like in like October, right? Like, didn't that come out during the season? Like what you're
Yeah, it for sure was in the season, I think.
And like 2 years ago, wasn't that like also in the season? Because I know this year was just kind of you took it and you flipped it. Like you didn't really have any new opponents. But like I feel like in 2023, I want to say it was during the season we got our schedule, but I could be wrong on that. Could be wrong.
Something else to look forward to on the SEC Network for ratings. That'll be
I'll wait and see the graphic.
I mean, the 2025 schedule was released on December 11th.
Yeah, see if you can find the 2024 schedule, because 25 was basically just 24 inversed. There's like, hey, we're doing the same thing, except, you'll be playing on the road or at home, depending on where you were the year before. Well, Tim, tonight, the debut of Season 2, the Season 2 premiere of the SM Athletics Friday night scoreboard show. Go ahead, Bubba.
Looks like December 13th, 2023.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe they'll wait till December to do it.
So it gives them some programming the week after the SEC championship.
Okay.
Which now that's in the playoffs, though. It'll be a playoff week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Season 2, the SM Athletics Friday night scoreboard show. Local high school football. It got started last night, but it really gets ramped up tonight, first weekend.
Yeah, so we're back. I'll have Bubba with me tonight. So Bubba's burning the midnight oil after getting here before sunrise. He'll be here till midnight with me. Maybe he'll get him a nap in at some point during the day. But yeah, 9:30 to 11:30, myself, Bubba, Spencer will be back from last year. Trevor will be back from last year. Taking your calls the entire show, talking high school football in the East Tennessee region. We talk some other stuff too, Vols and whatever's relevant, but mainly high school football. So if you're going to a game, if you watch a game, call in, talk to us, listen to us. It's pretty fun. I mean, this is actually the third year we've done it. Second year we've done it here in this building. First year, Logan and I done it on Saturday morning.
Okay, yeah, you didn't do a call-in show. Or it wasn't a scoreboard show. It was a high school football show.
It was
Saturday morning,
on
right?
Saturday mornings, way too early. So I'm glad we're on Friday nights. Makes it more relevant. Stuff's happening at that time.
Then you can put the podcast up or replay it on Saturday morning. It'd be perfect.
I mean, it was a fun scene here last year because we got the quad TVs down here in the office. So we'd have 3 or 4 games going on the TVs.
A little WNBA action on one. We'd have a college football Friday night on another. We'd have 2 high school games, some energy, some food, some people running around. Now, I don't know how much I'll be hanging out with you this year.
Surely you'll be here for night 1.
Can't call it, big dog. I don't know if I'll be here or not. Maybe not. Last year, whenever the Fridays would roll around, usually my old lady was working midnights, but she don't work midnights no more, so I don't know if she'll be like, hey, I'm completely fine with you hanging out and watching high school football and getting drunk with the boys. Yeah, that's good. I'll take care of the dog. I'll do all this. I don't know. Not saying she would hassle me. I'm just saying I don't know if I want to be here.
I'm not asking for every week, but it's launch week, so surely make sure everything goes off without a hitch. Well, I've got Bubba here though. He'll make sure everything's right.
Bubba's a star. Now, is it just you two tonight? You got Spencer.
No,
Spencer going to be here?
Spencer's here.
Is Beaver going to be here?
Beaver will be here.
Okay, so you got 4 people.
Yeah,
okay.
we just like the.
Well, I'm just extra at that point.
We just like to have the comfort of mind knowing you're outside the door.
It's true. It's true.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of high school football is a big deal right here to some people.
No, I know, and I think that I acknowledged at the beginning it's not my lane. It's not something that I care about, but I respect people that do, and I understand that they do. And what are the big matchups tonight? What's the big week 1 matchup?
Tonight is probably one of the top 2 or 3 biggest games of the year with Alcoa and Maryville.
Okay, I got some friends from each side of there, and I'm in a group chat with them, and they talk trash. So like that, something's on the line. Week 1, okay.
Big rivalry game. Alcoa's first game as a 4A team. They've moved up from 3A after winning the state title for 10 years in a row. So they are.
Oh, they finally decided after 10, like, okay, fine.
They moved up.
Did they get made do it?
No, I think they chose to.
Okay.
They still probably qualify student wise as a 3A team, but they chose to move up.
Well, good for them. After 10, they said they got boring. They won 10 state championships.
10 state championships in a row. And I think it's they've probably won 15 out of like 17.
Who are the other 3A schools right now that are really happy that they moved up? That are like, oh, now we can win a state championship.
Meigs County, Kingston, in this area, those 2, and then probably Gatlinburg, Pittman.
Okay.
But they've moved up to 4A. They will be in a region with Anderson County, who is the other premier 4A team in the area. So preseason poll shows Alcoa number 1 in the state, Anderson County number 2. They play each other the last week of the season, which will be a circus atmosphere at Anderson County. I think it's week 11, so it's probably going to be for the region championship. But also, that's on down the road. But for tonight, you've got Alcoa Maryville, you've got Anderson County Powell, which Powell's a 5A team. Anderson County being 4, it's a big rivalry game they play each year. Week 1,
should Powell win that one? Well, being a bigger school, because I mean, like
So Anderson County has taken advantage of this transfer rule. So they have.
What's the transfer rule? What's the NIL? What's the transfer rule here locally in high school football? I get to hear some of the deets. Bubba's always talking about corruption and recruiting.
It's dirty. It's dirty. I think it's pretty dirty. But the TSSAA has allowed this one-time transfer rule, and this is the first summer it's really taking effect. I mean, they had some last year, but this summer it really ramped up.
You could basically move, right? And
you can move.
You got one free transfer, essentially.
So, Bearden, back during the late spring, early summer, let go of their coach, and they lost about 20-something players off that team.
Now, when you say they can move, do you mean that they could just transfer without moving their school, or without moving their physical address? Yeah, can they transfer without moving, or it's just like, hey, you can put a different address. It's not tough to rezone. How does that work?
To be honest, I'm not sure if they have. Do you know, Bubba? Do they have to physically move?
I would say no, because it's not like you were under contract where you couldn't move before.
I think if you're in the same school, like the county or district, you probably don't have to move.
According to the TSSAA, allowing a student to transfer once and maintain athletic eligibility, provided the transfers significant non-athletic reasons like academics, social or emotional well-being, or mental health, does not require a change of address.
Okay. So wait, they said you can change schools.
Has to confirm it.
You could change schools as long as it affects your social life or your mental health. Is that what you said?
And then the previous school has to confirm that the transfer wasn't for any grades or disciplinary or anything like that.
The previous school has to, The previous school has to say it wasn't for what, Bubba? Sorry?
Any type of disciplinary reasons, athletic or grades or anything like that.
So, like you
So
said,
they-
20 kids left Bearden after the coach got fired.
Got 20 something left Bearden,
It seems
and
like a lot of 20 mental health cases.
I was going to say, what happens if like your coach getting fired affects your mental health? Like, is that considered academic, or excuse me, athletic, or is that considered mental health? Like, hey, the way they did my coach, I'm miserable. Hey, this affects my social life because this team, we're going to lose a lot of games. I won't be popular. I won't get to, be cool. If I go to this school and win a bunch of games, I will be popular. I will be cool. That will affect my social life. Seems pretty vague.
I think it's going. I don't think this rule's going to be around for a while, just because there's so many kids that transfer this year. Out of those 20 something that went from Bearden that left, I think 12 of them went to Anderson County.
Really?
So that's why I was getting to the point. Like you talking about Powell and Anderson County, like Anderson County can beat them, even though Powell's a bigger school. Anderson County's loaded.
Okay.
That's why that matchup against Alcoa at the end of the year is going to be such a big time game around here.
Okay, this is going to be a really dumb question, but where is Anderson County?
Oak Ridge.
Okay.
Oak Ridge and Clinton is in Anderson County.
But Anderson County and Oak Ridge are two different high schools.
Yes. So
is Oak Ridge still any good?
Yes. So
Okay.
Oak Ridge also moved up from 5A to 6A to be in the same region with Maryville.
How big is Anderson County?
Anderson County
got enough to have two big ass high schools like
three.
that?
There's also Clinton there.
Really?
So you've got Oak Ridge as a 6A school, Anderson County 4A, and then Clinton would be a 5A, I think, Bubba, right?
I need to care more about my local geography. I need to care more about this.
Clinton's 5A.
But luckily, I got Vols 1085 and Bubba. Bubba, what are you looking forward to most tonight?
Carnes and Hardin Valley.
I thought you said you were boycotting Carnes because they fired your buddy.
Yeah, but also
Your boycott lasted 2 hours. You said you didn't care about him anymore. What the hell? Now
I was going to see the first game. Now every other game, I mean, I'll be hate watching them probably, but maybe I won't. We'll see, John.
I thought you were a man of honor.
Are you going to that game tonight, Bubba?
No, going to games.
I can't give them my money.
He's got to be here. You can't go to games and still get over here in time.
You can make it to is the game at Hardin Valley? Even if it's at Hardin Valley or Carnes, you can make it to one of those two schools. You can make it to Farragut and leave at halftime and still be here.
Leave at halftime? What the hell's the point of going if you're going to leave at halftime?
Give the school
Support the
$7 of yours.
Yeah, pay them $7 and watch halftime. Or
$7. I think it's more like 10 now.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's even worse.
That is even worse.
So
as an alumnus,
buy a season ticket. You probably get a better deal.
Season tickets for high school football, John.
That's the thing.
I believe it.
They run you about $40.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I've been to a high school game since I graduated high school.
I didn't go. I mean, I do the show every week, but I didn't go to any last year until the state championship. But we watched them every Friday.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's fun going. I love going to high school basketball and football.
I went to a high school basketball game. I went to support. I went to a lot of high school basketball games. My stepsister was a high school basketball coach. But football, I really don't think I've been back since I graduated high school.
I mean, it's becoming more and more of a business, just like college, because I counted up yesterday, there were 13 new head coaches in the area.
Now, of those 13 head coaches, how many of them got poached from another school and got like a promotion? Do you have that information off the top of your head? Or is it just like, hey, so-and-so got fired, so this is a new coach? Because like when you say it's a business, to me, that implies like there's enough money involved now where you can go out and hire somebody else's coach and make them switch school
out
systems.
Of the 13, I think 2 of them just got poached, which they weren't even, I wouldn't say it's poaching. Clinton hired an assistant from Catholic.
Okay.
The Clinton coach is about, what is he, Bubba, 24?
Oh, wow.
25. He's young.
Yeah.
Hey, good for him. Just a prodigy? Just thought of as
apparently he was a GA under Pruitt.
Okay.
I don't think he is.
Bubba's got beef with him. Okay.
Lakeway Christian's a private school up in, is it Morristown, I think, Bubba?
White
Pine. They hired a big time private school coach out of Georgia. So I kind of call that poaching. They put some money into it.
They put some money into it, yeah.
The rest of them, they had fired their coach and
Okay.
just hired some assistants.
Yeah.
From other schools.
Yeah. I can't imagine there's much of a buyout when you have to fire your coach.
I
in high school.
don't think there's any kind of buyout, really.
Okay. Well, you can hear the boys tonight, 9:30 p.m. start time. the SM Athletics Fan Run Scoreboard Show. The Fan Run, was it Friday night scoreboard show?
SM Athletics Friday night scoreboard show.
SM Athletics Friday
There
night
should be a pretty nice commercial running at some point today.
By nice, if you mean you're goofy ass struggling to read a script, sure. We'll play that next.
Well, you rushed me into it, man. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
That's true. We've been waiting on that spot for 13 months, but Tim did finally get it in. But you can hear him and Bubba and Spencer and Beaver and all the callers tonight, 9:30 every Friday night, right here on FanRun Radio, on FanRun TV, on the app. You guys do radio? You guys still do radio too, or is it app only?
No, it's radio, app.
Okay.
Facebook. No, not Facebook. YouTube, X/Twitter.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Tim.
So thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bubba, send us a break. Last call on the other side.
You're listening to Fan Run Radio, the sports humans.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Friday Night Lights are back, and that means so is the SM Athletics Friday Night Scoreboard Show. Join me, Tim Hill, a.k.a. Vols Tim 85, and my crew every Friday night starting at 9:30 p.m. Live action, live calls, and all of the biggest talking points in East Tennessee high school football. It's the Friday Night Scoreboard Show presented by SM Athletics right here on FanRun Radio, 1340 AM, the free FanRun app, and streaming live on YouTube on FanRun TV.
Out with us on this Friday. Sorry, I know it's a little disjointed when there's just two of us here, but thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully, Cody will be back on Monday.